Hey everybody, welcome back to the Open Draft Project, the show where I force your favorite pros, streamers, and limited grinders to do a fake draft with absolutely zero stakes. I'm your host, Jake Brown, aka Uncle Cardboard, aka your favorite uncle, and this is a really fun one because we have never drafted this set before. There's also a mosquito in my office in the middle of fall in Denver, which has never happened before, and I'm a little nervous. Just like our drafters, because they mostly didn't know what was going on. Several people hadn't seen the cards before, and it took forever, and I am filled with regrets. This was a truly amazing run because, listen, the set was spoiled on Friday. Over Saturday and Sunday, we knocked out all 8 drafts, and it was really cool to see people really process a set in real time before any of the cards had even been played with. So, listen, these are not hard and fast. This is absolutely what you need to do, but I also think it's really cool to watch the way that their brains break down this brand new season. As always, the rules are simple. Just treat it as if it was a best-of-3 paper draft, so there are sideboard considerations, they will see foils, you don't care about vault progress or gems. If you at home want to try the draft before you see everybody's picks, which I highly recommend, the description is in the link. That is the opposite of the way that works, and I hope you understand what I meant. And as always, this would not be possible without Draft Sim and Star City Games. Go read the article on Star City Games. Do more fake drafts on Draft Sim. Without further ado, I want to get to this week's fake table of 8 people. First up, we have Alex Nikolic, followed by Cedric Phillips. We have Icky, Jamie Topples, Luiz Costa. We have Ryan Saxe, Semulin, and Veveil. What a freaking lineup. All right, let's hear from them. We'll start off with Alex.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we don't get to start off our first draft with some sick bomb rare, but we do have a few good cards in this pack. So, cards I'm looking at are Distracting Geist, Arch School of Thraben, Lantern Bearer, and I guess the last one would probably be Courier Bat. Roughly in that order, honestly. I think actually I would take out of this pack probably the Arch School of Thraben. It's close between that and the Lantern Bearer, but I do think in a good zombie deck, which I'm kind of hesitant whether or not a actual tribal zombie deck can come together, but in a good zombie deck, I think Arch School is the most powerful card. I wouldn't be surprised if in a week or whatever, after a few drafts, I'm just like, okay, no, Lantern Bearer is just, the best card in this pack. I think Lantern Bearer is generically powerful and, great in blue-white, but I think also good in, black to exploit and, probably just all the blue archetypes. But I'll start with the high upside card here with the Arch School. Okay, well, we do get to follow it up with a card that ostensibly goes with it pretty well with Diver Scab here. So Diver Scab, I think, is in the running for top uncommons in the set. This, anybody plays the last set knows how good Revenge of the Drowned is, and instead of a 2/2 zombie, you get a 3/5 attached to it that sticks out, and it's a bit of a cheeky analog. It's not truly what the the comparisons between the cards, but Diver Scab is awesome. Like, this card is just such a beating. Obviously you want some foddery stuff to come down and sacrifice, but even if this is one of the exploit cards that you'd actually be okay sacking a real creature to, because turning your creature into a removal is so good. It just stabilizes you so well, puts you so far ahead, and of course, is a zombie. So we'll just be taking that as the best card in the pack, and goes with our first pick too. All right, welcome to this pack, which is a little less exciting. The cards that are standing out to me are Desperate Farmer, Kindly Ancestor, and Bloodcrazed Socialite. Steelclad Spirit kind of in the mix there as well. Actually, Skywarp Scop as well. There's a few, mid-level playables, I would say. The best card in this pack is Kindly Ancestor. I really think Kindly Ancestor is going to be really, really good. I think I might actually just take that. There's thought of taking Desperate Farmer here. That would be my next pick, I believe, because Farmer is... I think it's gonna be pretty good in the exploit decks where you can get the turn this into a 3/4 lifelink pretty reliably early on. But Kindly Ancestor I think is just too much better. I think Kindly Ancestor is in the running for one of the top commons and plays pretty well with our Scob as well. It's a thing to sacrifice, and let's take that. All right, cards I'm looking at now. It's actually a pretty good pack for us. So we've got that Lantern Bearer, like I was noting before. We've got Markov Purifier, which I think is a pretty good payoff. It remains to be seen exactly how reliably a good light game deck can come together. But I think it's definitely something I'm willing to, I'm definitely willing to put stock in the designer's choices early on and like go for, okay, well, let's just see how this deck works out. At the very least, to get a pulse on that. So I'm one to first pick commons early on in the set. So that's something that's definitely on my radar here. I think past that, there's like Diagraph Scavenger, which I think is probably going to be a little bit of a sleeper, very reminiscent of Vampire Spawn. Not as good, I don't think, but it is a pretty good card. I think overall, I would probably just take the Lantern Bearer here as the, like, I think slightly less powerful, but more flexible card over Margot Purifier here. And now I think we just follow up our, we've got 2 good blue cards. I think we just take another good blue card here. There's there's a few other pretty good cards from this pack. It's Valor Stance, there's a Braid, but I think I'm just going to take Stitch's Assistant. Like, it also plays well with 2 of our cards here, right? Actually, most of our cards. Like, this is a thing, it's a zombie for our Archghost Raven. Also, it's, we've kind of got some sacrifice fodder going on with the Ancestor and the Bearer. And it's an exploit creature, which goes, just well with what we've got going on here. So I think I would just take Stitch Assistant. This is one of the better commons for like a blue-black deck, or honestly like any blue deck with any amount of fodder. I think Valorous Stance is it's a good card, but nothing that will detract me from getting deeper into blue here. Now we've got some good reasons to. Okay, so this is interesting. I wonder if this is the point where we want to take Chill from the Grave. So if I knew I was blue-black, pretty sure I'd just take Doom Dissenter here as like a good 2-drop play. I think one of the better sacrifice fodder cards. But considering I think there's a chance it could be blue-white still, I wonder if I take Chill to the Grave. I think I'm willing to take Doom Dissenter here and try to get into a more synergistic deck. Like, this pick's kind of interesting, right? Because we're basically asking a question, well, how, like, what are we giving up for staying open, essentially? Like, I think Doom Dissenter would be a really, really good addition to a blue-black deck, but, Chill is also going to be pretty good in any blue deck, and, even especially a blue-white tempo-y deck. I think overall we're not giving up that much if we, like, don't end up playing the Doom Dissenter, and it's pretty good with all of our cards, all of our blue cards, and our Archghoul Thraben, so I'll take the Doom Dissenter here. Okay, kind of middling pack here. So we've got Rot-Tide Gargantuan, which I think is okay. We've got Instant Traveler, which I think is quite bad. Yeah, I guess we just take the Rot-Tide Gargantuan, just a big ol' one for our potential blue-black deck here. Ooh. Okay, so let's take Wretched Throng here, I think. So now we are kind of, I am making some concessions here to staying too close to our blue, like a little bit close to our blue cards here, which is fine, because I do think that passing Kindly Ancestor is a power hit. But again, I'm making, I'm taking the course of, let's try to make this deck happen, right? Especially early on. I'm not necessarily looking to get into the actually absolute best deck, or the, the most open deck for my seat early on. I kind of just want to see for myself, okay, what does the path look like to getting into blue-black? And I think, like, a 7th pick, or is this 8th pick, Wretched Throng here, like, this is the card that kind of point out where I want to take this card and be like, ooh, this is a good point to take this. We didn't see any of them in the earlier packs, which would really, really make you want to take Throng over Kindly Ancestor. But, like, picking up one here just makes every future copy better. And so maybe in a week, maybe in 2 weeks, I figure out exactly what the blue-black deck looks like, what the blue-white deck looks like, and I go, no, Kindly Ancestor is just too much better. We pair that with our blue cards. But yeah, again, making that concession to just being like, let's see what the blue-black deck looks like here. Ooh, Lantern Bearer Rails. So we will take that and be very happy about that. Okay, so we have the choice between Selhoff and Tumor and Gluttonous Guest, which are, both defensive creatures. I think Selhoff and Tumor probably plays a little bit better in this deck, being both a zombie and, we have, our 2 Lantern Bearers here that we can pitch for value. Nothing too interesting here. Let's just take the Aim for the Head. Yeah, I'll take another one. Chance I play 2. Alright, take the Unholy Officiant, I suppose. Yeah, and Radiant Grace. Okay. Well, we lucky. We open up a sick bomb rare. I was saying it was unfortunate we didn't open up one in pack 1. We open up a sick bomb rare in pack 2. Yeah, Miracle Mimic's just insane. It's like a clone on the front side, and there's like a clone that keeps cloning things in the backside. The backside, I know you can't see the double face cards here on Draft Sim, so the backside is just a yeah, you can actually, never mind. They fixed that. Cool. So it's just, you put it on something and it's keeps cloning the thing, which is just really, it's like, put on your opponent's thing or your thing. Yeah, we're just going to slam that card. And another card we just get to slam. Okay, let's just take Headless Strider. So, yeah, I mean, perfect. This is like 2 back-to-back perfect cards for our blue-black zombie deck here. I guess it's the other kind of hidden thing with the Mimic, right? Where it's like, you know, it's a Disturb card, which, you know, is the blue-white thing, but Disturb cards also play super, super well in blue-black as, like, a thing you can sacrifice and then bring back after. So, yeah, I mean, no matter where this draft takes us, I'm very, very happy with where our deck is after picking up these 2 Bombers. Okay, well, this is an interesting, wow, a million options here. So, basically there's Reckless Bloodseeker, which is, I think, one of the, another, you know, running in the contention for the top commons in the set. Whispering Wizard, which is really good. I think it's not quite as good as Murmuring Mystic, which is the 1/5 version of that card we saw in Guilds of Ravnica. 3/2 is pretty different from 1/5, I think, but it's still a good card. I'm just going to take the second Diver's Scob, though. Super happy to have a second copy of that thing. And, you know, awesome thing about this pack, Wretched Throng Mightious Wheel. Okay, so now we have some options. So we can take Repository Scob, which is another exploit creature, but we don't really have anything to get back spell-wise. Not to say that we won't pick something up, but we just don't have that much to pick up that's super excited about. I think Binding Geist is probably the card I'm looking at here. There's Cruel Witness, which I know some people are kind of hot on, is like a, you know, it's a 4-mana 3/3 flyer with some upside, which varies how good it is in each set. I think like the days of 4-mana 3/3 flyer being just generically good limited card, you know, just generically great limited card, I should say, have kind of passed us. It's going to be good. It's going to be a fine card, but I think I'm going to be taking more synergistic cards over it most of the time. I think a more synergistic card in this pack is the Binding Geist. I just really like Binding Geist. I think it's like a solid creature on the front side, turns into, you know, a decent removal spell on the back side, and of course, you know, plays well with our exploit creatures here. Okay, so now we get to a pick where I'm going to probably take a card for Science here. I'm going to take Boarded Window here. I know I was saying that Restless Bloodseeker is really good, but we don't really have the deck for it right now. Not to say we couldn't pick up a few more life gain things or ways to make blood tokens, but I don't think we're quite going to get there, and I think Boarded Window is a card I am interested in seeing how well it plays. I'm optimistic about the card because it's a powerful, for people who haven't played with the -1, negative Votex before, it plays so much better than you might expect. So, like, just turning all your opponent's creatures into smaller. Now, of course, it is only for attacking creatures, which is different than cards like this we've seen in the past. That does change things. And, of course, the deal for and this thing kills itself is certainly a downside. But I think it's less of a downside that people, or I should say it's a downside you can mitigate quite a bit. Because, you know, you don't play this on 3. I mean, if you do play it on 3, it probably won't go away on 4. But you play it when your board's built out a little bit. And, like, you know, giving your opponent's creatures -1 makes it so that they have a hard time dealing 4 a lot of the time. So, yeah, I actually think this is, like, a pretty powerful effect that I'm willing to pick and see how it plays out. Okay, so now we get the choice between Mind Leech Ghoul, Cruel Witness, and Fear of Death or Syncopate. Blood Fountain would be in the mix too, actually, though. But I think I'll take a creature here. So, our deck is looking like kind of on the top end heavy. It's not, you know, too top end heavy, but a lot of our better cards are at the top end. I think I'm just gonna take a cheap card here in Mind Leech Exploit. Like, it's definitely worse than it's one of the worst cards in this pack. But I do think that I just want to pick up cheap cards at this point. I can see you're not, like, you know, not actually needing to pick up this card, honestly, and like pack 3 we're like, okay, cool, like we actually just picked up enough 2-drops. But the way I see this is I don't care that much if Fear of Death or Cruel Witness make my deck. Like, fine if I pick them up, fine if I don't. I'll be really upset if I don't pick up enough 2-drops, especially in an exploit deck where I really want early stuff, cheap stuff early. Okay, happy to pick up another Binding Geist here. Ooh, Undying Malice is kind of cool. Another one I'm excited to try out. So, kind of cool with the exploit creatures, both, like, you know, you can cast it on your exploit creature to get the ability once again, or cast it on the thing you're sacking. You know, cast it on your Doom Dissenter, you get 2 zombies. Well, eventually, right? You cast on the Doom Dissenter, it comes back as a 2/2, and you get the zombie token. So yeah, this is actually a cool little synergy piece for the exploit deck. Also kind of cool, you can go like, cast my Diver Scob in response to the trigger, Malice it, sack it to itself. It comes back, sack it to itself if you don't have anything else you really want to sack. So you can just like get the ability of your exploit card twice. So kind of cool. Okay, here's where I'll probably take Cruel Witness. I don't think we really need Scatter Thoughts. Scatter Thoughts is okay. It's a decent card advantage card, but I think with all of our Disturb stuff and our exploit stuff, we've got enough value on board already going on that we don't really need it. And yeah, Cruel Witness would be pretty just a generically fine card. So we didn't wheel the Wretched Throng. I think that was this pack. Or if it wasn't, we didn't wheel it in general. So I'll just take Blood Fountain. I'm pretty happy, I think, with one of those in each of my black decks. Or at least I think so. Cardary is pretty good to me. Okay. Take the Persistent Specimen. Maybe this was the wheel pack, actually. Take the Aim for the Head. And sure, Serpentine Ambush. Okay, a much less exciting opening third pack than our second pack. So our options are Investigator's Journal, which is a fun card advantage card. Grisly Ritual, which, is a very expensive but, kind of value-ish removal spell. And then there's just Chill to the Grave, which is like, cheaper removals or cheaper interaction spell, but it doesn't actually get the thing off the table. I'm assuming that Chill to the Grave is just going to be better than Grisly Ritual in this format, especially like if you have the zombies. So, using my an educated guess here, essentially, I'm going to take the Chill over the Grisly Ritual. Ooh, Dying to Serve. Are we a Dying to Serve deck? We discard one or more cards. Now, I do not think we are a Dying to Serve deck. It would be sweet, but yeah, I don't think we have enough cards, if any, that actually contribute to that. So, what am I looking at then? I guess Grisly Ritual is really the only card. I think Innocent Traveler is pretty bad. You're like, have to work for your 3/3, essentially, 3/3 flyer. Or not even have to work for it, but, you're giving your opponent the choice if they want you to have a 3/3 flyer, which, sacrificing your creature is no, it's no small cost, but, like, you're playing a 1/3 for 4, the turn comes down. I can see this card being a little bit better than it reads, but I'm not super excited about it, I guess is the way I would put it. So, I'll just take the Grisly Ritual here. Another Dying to Serve. I'll just take the Gift of Fangs, I think. So, like, there's Gift of Fangs, there's also Selhoff and Tumor. I think we're ever so slightly light on interaction. We've got the 2 Diverscops, which is, like, good interaction in the first place, but, like, one cheap interaction spell is pretty nice. So let's take the Gift. Alright, let's see. Catapult Fodder is kind of interesting. If we look at our deck here, we've got, like, probably not enough creatures to make it work. It's a cool card, it's a powerful card, but, you definitely want somewhere in the neighborhood of, like, 11 creatures that qualify the power lower than the toughness thing here. So what do I take instead? Fear of Death is fine, but unexciting. Same goes as Blood Servitor, and I like Blood Crazed Socialite, but I think in this deck, with not a lot of blood tokens, I think it's going to be pretty medium. Let's just take the Catapult Fodder, I think. Like, there's a weird chance that, like, the next 4 or 5 picks actually, like, fulfill the condition of or toughness greater than power, and it ends up being a good deck or a good card in our deck. So let's take that. All right. Ooh, we get a second pick, our second copy of Wretched Throng, which is pretty nice. I think at 2 copies, Throng is like, okay, yeah, you're fine to play it, especially in a deck where you want to sacrifice stuff. And then if we do pick up a third copy, I'll be really happy about that. Okay. So now we've got Doom Dissenter as more fodder. Chill the Grave, Stitch Assistant, and Diagraph Scavenger. Honestly, if you took any of these at random, I'd be pretty happy for our deck. But what do we actually want to take here? So, I think our cheap creature slot is fairly filled out. Like, I don't feel too bad about it. I wouldn't mind, the Doom Dissenter just, like, making a concession of taking the cheapest thing. But I think we can splurge a little bit and take a more powerful thing. And I think the best card in this pack is probably Stitch Assistant. So, let's take the Stitch Assistant. Alright, really only one thing we can take here. That's Cruel Witness. I mean, there's pointed discussion, but again, I don't think we need too much, non-board affecting card advantage. So let's take Cruel Witness. Take the Siphon Essence. Okay, nothing much here. Wedding Invitation, I suppose. Yeah, okay. Alchemist Retrieval, not the worst card. Maybe figure we need one more interaction spell. What card do I not want to play, Guess? I guess Belligerent Guest is the best card here. maybe somebody has like a nutty blood deck, and Voltaire and Epicure will be good, so take that, I guess. Just take the Supernatural Rescue. And yeah, card. So, we have quite a few cuts to make, so let's go through quickly and just make the easy cuts. Let's get the 3 Aim for the Heads. I think we're not super likely to play that. Let's get the Siphon Essence. I do like the card, but I don't think this deck really wants it. We don't have a lot of ways to hold up mana. Cut the Serpentine Ambush. That's an easy one. Cut the... Let's see. Like the Catapult Fodder. Okay, so now it gets a little bit trickier where, none of these cards are bad, but we're just trying to trim the least bad ones and the ones that have the least energy with our deck. So I think I'm probably cutting Persistent Specimen. I think like Lantern Bearer kind of just fills that role a little bit better, like as 1-drop fodder. I wouldn't be surprised if this card ends up being a little bit better than I think, but I think that one's probably on the chopping block there. Kind of not into cutting too many more cheap cards here, even though like Mind Leech School is not the best. It is just like a decent cheap, it's a cheap thing, and our 3-drop slot's really glutted, and our 3s are really good, so I don't think I want to cut any of those. I want to play board window for science, like I said, and where does that leave us? I guess Blood Fountain could probably go. I think we have enough. Our exploit creatures are providing you value. Past that, probably Alchemist Retrieval can go as well. Like not the best interaction spell, although kind of cool, I guess, with exploit creatures, but on the chopping block for sure. And then last cut, I'll just cut a Cruel Witness. Yeah, just I guess 9/8 weighted towards blue. For my first draft of the format, essentially, I'm very happy with how it went. I think we had a really hard time making cuts at the end there, so that's always a good sign. And we were very lucky to open some really good cards and get past good cards, in fact, too. But I think we have a reasonably powerful and synergistic deck.
So the card that I would probably take is Archghoul Thraben, which seems like a very efficient creature, sort of replaces itself, plays into what looks like one of the best archetypes. Every single exploit creature is a zombie. Most of the fodder is zombies. And then the other stuff that's interesting, Distracting Geist looks like a good aggressive card. Dig Up looks decent, but I'd rather have something to dig up before picking it. Honestly, most of the commons feel kind of flat. I'm not really blown away by any of these commons. I'm certainly not blown away by Fierce Retribution, because most of the white decks look too aggressive. So I think it's a pretty clear Archghoul. At least that's my take. Archghoul is very straightforward. It wants to go in a blue-black exploit deck with zombies. Lo and behold, one of the best cards in the pack is a blue-black zombie, the Diver Scab, which can sack things for a free Riptide, which is pretty absurd. And then the other cards in the pack, honestly, I'm not really blown away. Once again, I think the other best card's probably the Raconteer, which is a word I didn't even know before this set. But I would just slam the Diver Scab. I think it's the best card in the pack, so it seems very easy so far. So if we want to continue the blue-black theme, what would we take here? Desperate Farmer's probably decent. You don't sacrifice it, but you sacrifice other things, and then you get a 3-mana 4/3 lifelinker, which is good. I don't think Winged Portent is particularly good, because the deck is very little flying. The Skywarp Scab is I want one copy, but it seems unimportant. So I would just take Desperate Farmer here. I think the power level of this pack is very flat. I just want to take the card that works best with most blue-black shells. We have our first curveball, which is this Markov Purifier, which would go in a black-white life gain strategy. If we want to continue the blue-black exploit strategy, we can take different flavors of filler. The Diagraph Scavenger is fine filler. And then there's Syncopate, Bearer, Pointed Discussion, Aim for the Head. All these cards are playable, but not particularly impressive. So I would just take the Markov Purifier here. I don't want to commit to blue-black based on bad filler. So I would try my hand at the multicolor card. So I guess the best card in the pack is probably Valorous Stance, but Valorous Stance is a weird removal spell and then an okay trick. So it's a card you're pretty much never going to cut from a white deck, but I don't view it as some Windmill Slam uncommon, which maybe it's a little low, because I haven't if I was here on my own, I would go Scryfall, Toughness, 4 or more, and then just look at Valorous Stance. There's also a Braid, which is pretty good. So Valorous Stance and a Braid are the best cards. And then the best blue-black card is Stitched Assistant, which is actually pretty decent, though we haven't seen any fodder for it. So it's between Stance and Stitch Assistant to me. I don't want to take a Braid. I would just take Stitch Assistant. I don't value Stance highly enough to take the white card. We could just take our Doom Dissenter here. This is the kind of card that works perfectly for Blue-Black's gameplay loop. Shoulder Grave is actually good too. Like, I wouldn't hate Shoulder Grave, but I think getting the Dissenters is too important whenever you have 2 exploit creatures. I think Dissenter might be the best fodder common. Yeah, we could just take the Rod-Tide Gargantua. So we're going to move towards Blue-Black, and then if we do anything else, it's probably a splash, because it seems like we have all the commons we want, and the black-white cards have not been flowing after the Purifier. Like, I'm not seeing any of the life gain stuff. Yeah, we can take another Gargantua. We'll just lock up our 5s early. The Throng is okay. Like, we could speculate on Throngs as our fodder card, but I was doing these drafts online. I was getting a lot of Dissenters and Skeletons, so I don't think the Throng is particularly important. I would just take another Gargantua. So Lantern Bearer is kind of like a fodder creature for start or for exploit. I haven't played the set yet, obviously, so I'm not sure how much that's going to play out, but in theory you could play it, poke for 1, sacrifice it, then put flying on your Gargantua. Retrieval is only interesting because there's a Scrivener in the set with exploit, so you can like pick it up and re-get the retrieval and so on, and then it's like, a disperse, which is fine in low numbers. But I think I would take Lantern Bearer because I want fodder, and I want to see if the sacrifice to Gargantua and then fly play pattern's any good. Gluttonous Guest is actually a good black-white card. At least I think it is, because you're going to have blood from your black cards, and then the incidental life gain is valuable for Purifier. The Entomer is not very good at all. I don't think I want Entomer. So I would take Gluttonous Guest, actually, as a hedge towards black-white, in case I get kicked out of blue. We could take Aim for the Head. It's like half a sideboard card, then half a main deckable thing. Against like Ardak, I'd board it in, and then in general, it's Mind Rod, so you could totally main deck it. It's actually a really nice card. Pointed Discussion's very gassy, but very bad in like high numbers. But I think I would just take the 1 copy of Pointed Discussion. If I want like raw card draw, then maybe I want a copy of it. But a second Aim for the Head was definitely like not bad. I would have been happy to have it. So still take Pointed Discussion though. I'll just take the white card. I'm not playing red or werewolves. Yeah, sure. Okay, so we got our next pack. The rare we've opened is very good, which is good news, and it's in color. So I think it's clearly going to be that. And then the other cards that are nice is the Drake, which works well in blue-white with auras. And then, really, that's it. There's like some playables, but I'm just slamming the rare. Like, this is a very solid clone. Yeah, we got a zombie rare, easy. So we just windmill slam the Headless Rider. It's like a better Archghoul. We have both, and like almost all of our creatures are zombies, and it asks nothing of us. So we're definitely not black-white. Like, we're very much blue-black at this point. Very similar kind of pack. We have too many 5s if we play all the Gargantuans. So the fourth 5-drop in Diver Scab is like a little dicey. However, Diver Scab is just better than the Kraken. So I would just take Diver Scab, and I want to table the Persistent Specimen, the Throng, and the Farmer. Like, any of those cards would be fine, but I don't think I need to take the Specimen. I just want power level, so I take the Scab. Innocent Traveler is not very good. At least, I mean, it could be good, I guess, if they're humans, but I don't know. It's kind of like clunky. Cruel Witness isn't bad. If you look at our curve, I don't think I have many 4-drops. I don't have many 4-drops. I also don't have many non-creature spells. I think I would probably just take Repository Scab over the Cruel Witness because it's an exploit card, but this could be wrong because we have a very low number of instant sorceries. Like, I would do it because it's a zombie and an exploit card, but it's possible Scab is like one of my weaker cards due to the way my deck is set up, but I'd still take it over Cruel Witness. It's just for the archetype. Oh, just slamming Bleed Dry, not even close. That's the exact card I was thinking when I took the Scab. Like, we need Bleed Dries to make the Scab good, and we also need Bleed Dries because it's just like, premium common removal spell. It's like 4 mana is like the right number for a card like this. It's not 6 like the other one. So we got Mind Leech Ghoul and Cruel Witness. I don't think any of the other cards are in consideration. I would just take Mind Leech Ghoul. It's Grizzly Bears. It's on Tribe. Gives us some ways to sack stuff for exploit. It's just a solid filler card. So the Skywarp Scab is like potentially okay, but the problem is we have 4 or 5 drops and all of them are good. So I would just take Blinding Geist here as a filler card. I don't really care about Alchemist Retrieval. Like, maybe we could play it, but yeah, I think the other 5s are better than Scab. We could take Undying Malice. Undying Malice is a very exploit-friendly trick because you can Undying Malice your own exploit creatures with it on the stack, sack them to themselves, and then replay them. But also, if you want to trick, find one. It's much better than Serpentine Ambush. Definitely take Cruel Witness, I think. I guess Scattered Thoughts is okay. We already have the, what's that card called? The Pointed Discussion. So I don't think we need like raw card draw and Scattered Thoughts. So I'd rather just take the Phantom Monster with small upside in the Cruel Witness. Wonderlight Spirit could be a sideboard card against flyers. It could also be a playable filler card. And then there's this Blood Fountain, which, do we have a Raised Dead? Some other Raised, oh yeah, it was the Bat. We don't have a Raised Dead, which means we could play a copy as like a very grindy card. I'd probably just take the Blood Fountain, but I could be wrong. The Spirit doesn't really seem to match what we're doing. Yeah, definitely take the Persistent Specimen. Not even close. I actually wanted that card, so... Like, I haven't played with it yet. It's possible it's too slow, but it looks like the right kind of fodder for us. Another Aim to the Head's pretty easy. Yeah, we're not playing the Ambush, but whatever, it's on color. And then, yeah, sure. Okay, so we got an interesting rare, which I'm not sure how good it is. It's like cheap card advantage, but you have to let the board develop first. And you get to pay it in like increments. And then when you're done with it, it sacks to itself. So you could look at it as like kind of like a really bad Maze Mind Tome, but Maze Mind Tome was busted. So I think it's like playable, but I don't know how good it is. And then if we weren't to take that, we would take either Chill of the Grave, which is like very efficient tapping spell in an all zombies deck, or Grisly Ritual, which is very slow, but usually you can like afford a copy. So this really comes down to like what our deck is missing, and I would just take the Journal to try it at this point. Like we have a fairly high creature density and we don't have like that much raw card draw, but it's possible like a week in I'll realize this was wrong and I should have taken either of the spells over it. All right, so Dying to Serve is not for us. It's for decks with a high number of blood tokens. I don't like Innocent Traveler, it's probably good against human stacks, but I don't like it otherwise. Grizzly Ritual's fine. Red Light Monstrosity is not very good. It's probably best in blue-white anyways. So I'd just take a Grizzly Ritual and not be particularly happy about it. Like, I might start it. If I don't start it, it's a good sideboard card. Pretty weak. Another Dying to Serve. We don't really have enchantments for the Geistlight Snare, nor do we have spirits. Like, we have a little bit of both, but it's not particularly good in our deck. And the Groom's Finery is only good when you can get the Gown. The Gown is a white card. I don't particularly love any of these cards. I think I would just take Selhoff and Tomer as a filler creature. And then the Gift of Fangs would be okay, but it doesn't kill vampires, which I think is a problem, because a lot of the cheap creatures are vampires. So I don't like it. So Catapult Fodder is interesting, because it's not really our official theme, but I think we have, like, fairly decent deck for it. Like, if you look at our creatures, the 1/3, we have, actually, I'm not sure. Seems like we're a little power slanted. Our Diver Scabs work. That doesn't work. The Gluttonous Guest would work if we play it. I don't particularly like it, but I would take it anyways. Just because there doesn't seem to be much else for us. This has been a pretty weak pack so far, so I just take the Catapult Fodder. Worst case scenario, it's a blocker. Very weak pack again. We could take the Throng, which we unlikely to get multiples. We could also take Syncopate. I think by this point I would just take Syncopate. I don't expect multiple Throngs, so I view Syncopate as like somewhere between a 23rd card and a sideboard card. I think it's a pretty clear Doom to center here for our exploit cards. We have a ton of exploit. Like, we've needed more fodder cards this entire time. So Doom to center is a premium one. Seems like a pretty easy pick. So we can take a second pointed discussion. We can take a Cruel Witness. That's the third Brine Comer, by the way, which is a big punch in the gut. This card's really good, but that was not how we started the draft, so we couldn't get into the deck in time. So I think I'd just take the Cruel Witness and be relatively happy with it. Yeah, we'd take a Siphon Essence. Like I said, Groom's Finery is like a side quest for a black-white deck. I don't think the equipment's good on its own. So, yeah, pretty terrible pack. We just get invited to the wedding. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, we can take an Alchemist Retrieval, which actually isn't unplayable or anything, but we're not prioritizing it. Yeah, take the unplayable combat trick and give people their filler. Sure, it's white card, I guess. Flip a coin. I'd take the Beguiler, but yeah. Let's see. We can cut Blood Fountain, the Ambushes, the Aim for the Heads, the Siphon Essence, the Discussion. We might add this stuff back. I always do the Syncopate, the Retrieval. We can cut Gluttonous Guest, because we're not really any of those themes. Not very good. Binding Geist, Selhofen Tomer, and Catapult Fodder, I think. I don't think we have very much toughness. Yeah, and then I would just probably want to add like 2 non-creatures, and I'd be good. Although the Cruel Witness is kind of mopey too, because we don't really have like a lot of non-creatures. I guess it's Phantom Monster, which is fine. So it's still not like terrible, but don't love Cruel Witness either. I could see cutting like 1 Cruel Witness actually. And yeah, because we need more non-creatures for Repository Scab anyways. So what do we want here? We don't have any raw card draw, right? Like with in this deck, we have the Journal. The Journal is raw card draw. So we could probably use like another card draw spell, which I guess I would play Pointed Discussion. Like a single copy of that seems fine. And then we mostly just tap out, right? I don't think we're holding up counter magic very much for Syncopate or Siphonus. And I'd take Alchemist Retrieval in. It's like a fine bounce spell. We bounce our own stuff for value. And then a lot of 5s. Yeah, then again, we have like some filtering. Looking at the Selhope and Tomer again, just for curve, but I don't think our curve is that bad. So a little bit heavy on 5s. Thinking we have 1/2 Scab. We have the our Catapult Fodder is not good. I would probably play Gluttonous Guest over it. I'm not going to play that. But I'm saying like I don't think I like the 1/5. We're never going to flip it. We don't want to play 18 lands, right? Just thinking about it. We do have kind of a high curve. I think it's either like an Aim for a Head or just 18 lands. I would probably think about that for a while. Probably just Aim for the Head. Miser's Mind Rot. Yeah, what is do non-separate non-creatures? We're pretty even. Like, I don't know, we're a little more black, but we have double blues on Scab and Cruel Witness. I'd probably just do 9/8, 9 swamps, 8 islands. This is like part of my motivation to play 18 lands. Actually, is that our mana is like pretty strict. A lot of 5s. Like if we had a little more blood, then we could easily justify 18 because we just pitch all of our excess lands. I think I maybe cut Aim for the Head for 18th land. Like if you write the article, just like put in that I was like waffling on 18 because I think that's important. Is that this deck is definitely borderline between 18, which would probably be a swamp, and then the logic is that use your blood and Investigator's Journal to make sure you don't blood out too terribly, and also the deck has like a ton of 5-drops and it wants to hit them on curve. So that's like the whole point of it. But then again, like they require you to have a spell to set them up, and we have like we have Lantern Bearer, Specimen, 2 Doom Dissenters as cards that are good to sacrifice for like 4 big exploit cards. So we're a little short on fodder, like we would have liked a bit more. But I think we mostly prioritize our picks okay. It's also possible that Binding Geist is good, and I should be playing it, because it's like kind of a 2-for-1. But then again, the back mode is so weak that I don't know. Don't know how to evaluate that one yet. Yeah, I mean, I think this deck is like relatively decent, and the navigation of the draft was alright. I just there might have been like 1 or 2 picks I regret, but mostly it's fine. We just could use a little more early game. Hey, all right. Basically, for the last second change, what I realized is I can avoid 18 lands if I play cheaper cards, and also the 1/3 is sort of a way to hit land drops by pitching creatures. If we maximize the number of disturb cards, it makes sense. It's also another exploit fodder card. So I decided that I would cut the blue-red centric Phantom Monster, and the double blue is annoying given that I have a 9/8. So I'd cut the Phantom Monster, cut a Swamp, and then add the 1/3 and the 3/1 for a balance curve of 17 lands and creatures. So, because like I said, it was like a 17.5. Like I wasn't sure if I wanted 18 or not.
I'm going to take what I believe is the safest card in this pack. I'm going to select Fierce Retribution because I feel like I know what I'm getting myself into with this one the most. Destroy target attacking creature for 2 mana is effect that is seen playing limited before, and then 6 mana to kill anything is a little expensive, but reasonable, and the flexibility seems to be good. So that's my first pick. All right, I'm going to take Diver's Scab, I guess, because white is the disturbed color, so there just seems like there's some free value there. All right, we'll take Kindly Ancestor to go along with my Scab and general attempt at Azorius Disturbed exploit deck. Even though we're only 3 picks in. 1/1 flyer, good to exploit, then you can have something get a little big. Seems weak for a 4th. You're really moving in on this Disturbed stuff. I guess it could be better than I think. And it is a good thing to put the enchantments on. All right, I guess I'm going to take 4th pick Lantern Bearer and people will make fun of me. This is a straight up a Valorant stance. I think it's just the most powerful of the 3 cards given its modality. I guess I'll take Heron Blessed Geist. Seems to kind of line up with what I'm trying to do here a little bit with the Disturbed deck. So 5 mana 3/3, and then I can create some people because I assume I'll control an enchantment because of Disturbed. So let's go with that. All right. Yeah, give me Innocent Traveler. I don't think the Parish Blade Trainee is particularly good. That's my best guess. And Innocent Traveler does seem pretty powerful. So I'm going to take that and maybe end up in maybe white-black, perhaps. I'm not really sure. I'm attached to blue right now. So let's try that. I think I will be selecting Kindly Ancestor again. And we got to figure out a way to make these a little bit better, but let's see. Fire Spawn, no. Nope. No. Lightning, it's going to be a no. Retrieval is the bounce spell. Well, that's just a 2 mana bounce a thing. So that just seems kind of free-ish. So I'll take Alchemist's Retrieval. Seems pretty straightforward. Shieldbreaker is just a random bozo that I'm trying to give like flying and lifelink. I mean, it does seem like the best thing to be disturbing onto. I guess I'll take Ustwald Shield Basher with the idea of this is like one of the better common cards to disturb enchantments onto, since it's going to be hard to kill when you're attacking. So I'll take Serpentine Ambush, and I'm not convinced it's good. I'll select Adamant Will because it's on color. Sure, I'll take Unholy Officiant. And sure, I'll take Radiant Grace. All right, let's see what we have here. Mirror Hall Mimic. Yeah, I'm just going to take Mirror Hall Mimic. I just want to make sure I knew what the rest of the cards were. Gotta take the rare and find out. It also just seems like a good rare. All right. Twin Blade Geist, the card I previewed. Okay. Good card to suit up Disturb stuff with, presumably. Headless Rider, we're not that deck. Yeah, I'm thinking it's Sigarda's Imprisonment is because that's just a removal spell. So let's go ahead and take that. I'm going to assume that's better than Twin Blade Geist, but I bet Twin Blade Geist is better than I think. Okay. So I'm going to take another Diver Scab. Just going to keep assuming that it's good. I think I'm going to go with the Cruel Witness. I think it's probably better than Binding Geist. So yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm not going to take another Innocent Traveler. I just don't think I'm going to be black. So yeah, I'll take Border Window, even though I don't know if I'm going to play it or not. Because, oh, hold on. Creatures attacking you get -1/-0. So it's not a static effect. It's only when they're attacking. Still might be totally fine. Yeah, we'll just take Bordered Window. Still seems like this Shield Basher card's good. I'm going to take another Shield Basher. This card just seems like it's really good. Cigar's Imprisonment is my selection. So Circle of Confinement is a fine removal spell. Might be better than I think, but I'm taking the Bryan Comber. I'm taking the on-color uncommon. See if we can get a little something cooking there. Yeah, I'll take another Cruel Witness. Got a lot of those. This is my second one of those? Yes. Okay. I think I'm going to take Wanderlight Spirit because it's a flyer, and that's going to be better to disturb onto. Even if it can't block that well. Which means I'm going to take another Wanderlight Spirit. I'm going to take... Ooh, that's close, actually. I didn't expect to do, but I think that ability might actually just be good on these flyers and just gain a life each turn while giving beatdowns. Yeah, let me take that. That seems to make some sense. Okay, I'll take another one, I guess. Okay, so either that card's terrible or people are terrible. That'll be fun to figure out. I'm going to take Nurturing Presence over Kindly Ancestor, which seems boldish. Seems a little boldish, but let's do it. Discard a card. Spirit, return. Exile Fleeting Spirit. Return to the battlefield under someone's control at the beginning of the next end step. All right, so it's like kind of hard to kill. Fits my curve. So I'll take Fleeting Spirit. Can use a 2-drop, I guess. I'll take the Entomber. Let's see how that goes. Enchanted creature gets -6, -0, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. Oh, okay. Well, that card seems like it's all right. I'll take Fear of Death. It's like sweet removal spell. And can also generate some value. Yeah, so that card seems okay. Oh, that one seems okay. Oh, but there's another Bryan Comber. Well, I'm going to take Bryan Comber. I'm going to hope that I get that Drugskoll Infantry back, but that seems like Drugskoll Infantry seems like a good card for this kind of strategy, but we're taking Bryan Comber still. Yeah, I'm going to take Drugskoll Infantry. Yes. Let's take the Infantry. Okay. Another Bryan Comber? This card's... It's either really bad or I'm really bad. I don't know which one yet. We're going to stick with our Bryan Comber deck. Let's go and do that. That's got to be good for filling the curve. A little trade action, a little value later. All right, another Drugskoll Infantry. That card's got to be good in this deck. Got to be. Wield the Kindly Ancestor. So I'm going to take the Kindly Ancestor. So now we're loading up on some disturbed some disturbed value cards. Okay. I'll take another Nurturing Presence, which means I probably shouldn't have taken the first one I took. I'll take Serpentine Ambush. Might be a better trick than I realize. I'll take the Officiant. I'll take Supernatural Rescue. And Chill of the Grave, excuse me. I did a good job of staying on color. Good, yay me. Yeah, I don't think this border window is going to make it anymore. That was a good try. All right, Sed, here we go. So the infantries are going to stay. The Unholy Officiants can go. We're going to keep the Traveling Ministers there for now. We're definitely going to keep the Lantern Bearer. The Ancestors are going to stay. Wanderlight Spirits, I think, are going to stay. Bryan Combers are going to stay. Okay, so we're going to have to cut some creatures. Wanderlight Spirits are going to go. Okay, we have to cut some creatures. Okay. I guess the Shield Bashers are going to go. Those don't seem particularly good anymore with what's going on with our deck. Okay. So let's get a better look at these spells. We're definitely keeping the Imprisonments. You can cut the Chill of the Grave. You can cut both the Serpentine's Ambush. Those are gone. All right, so I'm going to cut Supernatural Rescue. I think you probably have to keep Nurturing Presence because I have 3 Bryan Combers, and that's a bit of a combo. Okay. Though, it is interesting that Bryan Comber does not fly. You would think it flies. You would think that card flies. It does not fly. Your Traveling Ministers are looking a little bit worse because the Traveling Ministers were going to kind of combo with flying creatures and stuff, but those were looking a little bit worse now. So it seems like my cruel witnesses are what's going to get queued up with all these disturbed things. Okay. So let's cut both traveling ministers, because that's not where it's at anymore. So I think, okay, so that means that Adamant Will's going to leave. That's not really where it's at. All right, cut Adamant Will, cut Alchemist's Retrieval. You bring Fleeting Spirit up. I have 18 creatures already. All right, Fleeting Spirit, see you later. That's probably wrong, but see you later, bud. It feels like I kind of have to play 17 lands. Also, I have these 2 Sigarda's Imprisonments. I have to get the 5 mana. I don't have to get the 5 mana for, but it gives me more stuff to do. And Fierce Retribution's Cleave. All right, cut a Nurturing Presence. I hate myself. All right, there it is. 9 blue, 8 white. If this card's like super good in the disturbed archetype that I've attempted to draft here, then I'm feeling great. I have like no idea if my deck is good. I couldn't tell you if what I have here is good. I don't know if the cuts are right, anything like that. But it just seems like this deck is just trying to generate a ton of value, even though my creatures aren't that big. And then Cruel Witness seems like the kind of card that kind of is like the common that maybe ties like this archetype together. Drogskull Infantry seems like the 2-drop that ties this archetype together that's common. Lantern Bearer, I'm really interested to see how good that card is here, because I don't know if it's just a random bad flyer or if it's like Wingcrafter from Azorius, or it's not from Azorius, from Avacyn Restored. Wingcrafter was like a super good common, just 1 mana, 1/1 flyer that made things better, and this could be the same thing. It's also a flyer to like put all your disturbed crap on too, so that could be a thing. Kindly Ancestor is probably not as good as I think it is, but I think you probably want like at least one of your disturbed decks just because Lifelink is powerful. I have no idea if this Mirhall Mimic rare card is good, but I'm pretty hard pressed to believe that it's not, just because of the value of disturbed, and it just seems like it'd be a good card. And then is Diver Scab acceptable in a like non-Dimir deck that exploits better, but also this deck exploits well because of disturbed values. So, and also like is a 3/5 on the ground, just like a brick wall that can attack through things, which doesn't seem like it's great against green, but it does get some of green stuff out of the way and is like a time walk or whatever. So, I don't know. Seems all right. Got a lot of removal. Removal solves a lot of problems.
So cards that stick out to me initially, just in terms of my early evaluation, are like Courier Bat, Fierce Retribution, and I'm really interested in Lantern Bearers. The Distracting Geist is up there too, but I'm not that big on it. I think here I go with Courier Bat. I think it's probably the best black card in the pack, and I think it's just an overall good value engine, similar to a Gravekeeper, if you make it work. All right, so here we've got the cards that stand out to me are Diver Scab, Gluttonous Guest, since we're already on a black plan, and then a couple more blue cards with the Repository Scab and the Lantern Bearer. I mean, those are the noteworthy ones, in my opinion. I think Diver Scab is probably the best card in the pack, but seeing as how we already have some life gain incentive with the Courier Bat, I would like to just follow up with Gluttonous Guest, which I think is going to be an underrated card in general. I think it's going to be an overperformer. So this pack's interesting. We've got some blue cards, but none of them are really too noteworthy. The Blood Crazed Socialite is probably like more of a filler card. I'm very interested in just taking a black card here to continue that trend. So I think I'm interested in the Desperate Farmer at this point and trying to stick on a black plan and hedge and just anticipate that we're going to be trying to do a life gain deck. This card isn't like super exciting, but I think it's just overall fine, and it keeps us on one plan right now. So here we get a big payoff, and the Markov Purifier immediately sticks out to me. we're already 3 life gain synergy cards in. It's exactly what we're looking for. Most of the black cards are not too exciting, besides the Diregraph Scavenger, I think is a good black-white card. We haven't seen... We see, like, Lacerate Flesh. We're still seeing a couple good blue cards here. So that's noteworthy, but there's also, 3 black cards and the exact card we're looking for in Markov Purifier. So that's an easy pick. Okay, so now it looks like we're headed in the black-white direction that we were thinking of. So I'm very interested in saying on that plan. Valorous Stance, I think, is a good card in general, but I think I would like to get another Gluttonous Guest at this point. It still keeps us on just black. If we want to do like a cool toughness build, we can do that. But most likely we're planning on being black-white life gain strats. All right, this pack's a little lackluster. So none of the white cards are super exciting to me. There's one black card in the Doomed Dissenter, which is mostly like exploit fodder for the most part. So I think since we're doing black-white, we've got some blood makers. The Heron Blessed Geist isn't a card I'm generally excited about, but since we already have some blood, looting it away gives us access to get it back from the graveyard and do the second mode, which makes this card much more playable. So I think we just nab the Heron Blessed Geist. So at this point, I think we're in a pretty good spot. We see 3 black cards, we see 1 white card, no blue or red cards. We successfully kind of avoided colors that were not open. So I don't think this is a deck for the Perish Blade trainee, so we can write that off. The Vampire's Kiss I'm not very excited about in general. So we've got the Innocent Traveler, the Rot-Tide Gargantua. I think the Innocent Traveler is probably a little overrated in general. But the Rot-Tide Gargantua is probably not going to be for our deck at this point. So I think we just go Innocent Traveler as just a generic curve-filling flyer type thing. All right, so now we've got more black and white cards. I think we go Kindly Ancestor here for the life gain strats. It's a good thing to discard with bloods also. Solid pick. Okay, so this is the wheel. Easy pick for Fierce Retribution. I mean, that wheeling is a huge signal. One of white's... I think there's only 2 white removal spells at common, and this being the better of the 2, I think. So, easy pick right there. If we're still on the white-black plan, there's 2 cards, and I'm fairly certain the Nebelgast Beguiler is going to be unplayable in most every circumstance, so easy Shield Breaker. And easy Kindly Ancestor here. I'm not too big on the other cards. But I think we'll just grab a Combat Trick and Adamant Will. And then we'll take the white card here. And the white card there. Okay, so not much great for us here. Only 1 white card, 1 black card. Neither of them are particularly what we're looking for in this deck. But I think we have a strong enough base and archetype, and it seemed open that I don't think we want to mess with it and speculate on anything. The Mirror Hall Mimic is a very good card. So I'm basically thinking of Mirror Hall Mimic as worth splashing just as a clone. The Disturb side does cost double blue, so if we're pitching it to blood tokens or something, it's not that great. I don't think the deck wants Militia Rallier because it's not going to have a lot of buddies to attack with, so I think I'm fine just taking a Mind Leech School. It may or may not make the deck, but there's nothing here that I really otherwise want to play. Cool, so we've got a few good picks here. The Twin Blade Geist immediately sticks out. I think it's a very strong card. In general, we don't have too many plus power or toughness auras to put on it, but one card that I would be excited to get in this deck is the White Bear with the +2/+2 aura on the backside. And also the Twin Blade Geist Disturb Aura is extremely good. I think it's one of White's best just uncommons in general. The other option is the Sigarda's Imprisonment, but I assume we're going to get some better kill options. I would rather just get the Twin Blade Geist now. Also good with lifelink. All right, so don't have to look at much of the pack. We see the Restless Bloodseeker is probably one of the best uncommons for this archetype, and I think it's just very good in pretty much everything. So yeah, easy pick. This one's interesting. We've got another Innocent Traveler. Like I said, I'm not huge on that card. And then the alternative is the Dawnheart Geist, which, as we've learned, incidental life gain in recent powerful sets is pretty huge. But I don't think we're going to... It's hard because we are a life gain oriented deck. Yeah, so this is a tough pick. The Dawnheart Geist is a card that says gain life, which is kind of more or less the theme of the deck. But we do have lots of gain life triggers and lots of defensive cards already. So I think we just pick up another Innocent Traveler, so we have other ways to close out the game. Perfect. A Restless Bloodseeker that's foil. Easy. All right. I'm not big on the Blood Fountain. I'm pretty sure that card... Well, all right. Let's put it this way. We've got the Shield Breaker. We have a Shield Breaker. I don't think this is a great deck for Shield Breaker. The Unholy Officiant is not good, in my opinion. So I'm really uncertain about the Blood Fountain at this point, but this could be a fine deck for it. So I don't think the other two cards are making our deck. So we'll just take Blood Fountain. So this is a little bit of a difficult pick between the Heron of Hope or the Sigarda's Imprisonment. You know, we have kind of a flying theme in terms of the way we want to end the game, while we have creatures on the ground. Our kill spells are a little lackluster at this point, but it may be the case that we don't really care. Having said that, I think I still go for the Sigarda's Imprisonment. The deck has all the bases covered. We're defensive, we're gaining life, we're doing the thing the deck wants. We have enough decent threats for this point at the draft. Let's get the removal spell so we don't get got by a random bomb. Okay, pretty easy Circle of Confinement. I mean, we can note that we haven't seen black cards in the last few picks, but we've seen the specific black cards we're looking for in the Restless Bloodseekers. So we're in a fantastic spot. The rest of the draft should be easy peasy. Circle of Confinement. No pick here for us, but that's not a big deal. We are treating it like a pod draft. We're not particularly scared of any of these cards. I'll just take the Cruel Witness. I'm never playing the Groom's Finery until otherwise proven that it's a real card, so let's take another Blood Fountain. Do we ever play the Phalanx in this deck? Sure, let's take the Phalanx. There could be the black uncommon that throws things. We're not scared of these cards. We'll just take the white card. And we'll take Serpentine Ambush. Okay. I don't think we have too much that will train the Griffwing Cavalry, but even so, it's still a really solid card. The other consideration is a Grizzly Ritual, which actually is looking pretty solid in this deck. We have a few pieces of removal. None of them are stellar. This is a catch-all. It does give us more blood for later in the game. So it's between the Cavalry and the Ritual. Because I don't think we have the most creatures to train the... yeah, I think we'll just go Griffwing Cavalry here, just so we have more threats. I think we're definitely grindy enough. We've got enough incidental life gain. We just want to be able to close out games. Dying to Serve is a really interesting card. You know, it's obviously designed to work with blood mechanic, but I don't really think we need an army of 2/2 zombies to enact our game plan here. We have 2 Innocent Travelers already. They are a little awkward. I think we just shore up a Grizzly Ritual here, so well, there is also Fleeting Spirit to note, but I don't think that's really all that great in this deck. I think we just shore up a Grizzly Ritual, so we have our top end removal down. Wow. So we've got another Dying to Serve. I'm trying to think like how much blood we actually have. So we don't have a ton of blood. Our other option is Gift of Fangs, I guess. If we don't want to go Dying to Serve. Yeah, I really don't know what we do with an army of zombies. So I think we just grab Gift of Fangs. Could be completely wrong on that. So the uncommon I mentioned earlier, and the reason to take the Phalanx there, is the Catapult Fodder. So Black-White surprisingly does have a decent amount of more toughness than power creatures. You know, the front sides of the Travelers, the Phalanx, the 1/4s, the 1/3s, we've got most of them. So I think we grab the Catapult Fodder here. It's fine even as just a 1/5 here. And then late game, this gives us the reach our deck wants. So at this point, taking the Catapult Fodder, all we really even need is just a couple more kill spells and our deck's done. There's the 2/2 infantry I had mentioned. That's exactly what we want. The Disturb side is going to be great on the double striker. It buys us some time. It's good to discard with blood. It's what we want. We don't have much use for the Doom Dissenter. Piercing Light is nice, though I don't really think we need it. And we have one Grizzly Ritual. I'm not too excited about playing multiples. So I think I'm fine just taking a Diregraph Scavenger. Also helps with the Toughness Matters. It's a wall. I think we've got enough reach. I don't think we're playing any of this. None of it's really sideboard worthy, so I guess we'll take Cruel Witness to hate it from the pod. I don't know how much people are hating things, but I don't think it matters too much. But yeah, Cruel Witness, we're not using anything. Oh, there's a third Gluttonous Guest. Easy pick. So the only playable cards in black and white are not really great for us. We're not really scared of anything here. So I don't know. We'll just take the Millipede to take it away. Sure, we'll take the Celebrants. Well, that red-green card is very good. We'll just take that out of the pod. Take the green combat trick. I don't know. We'll take the white thing. I don't even know what it does. All right, so let's start with taking out all three of the one-drop creatures. Radiant Grace can go. Probably don't need the Mind Leech Ghoul at the 2 spot. Probably don't need the Adamant Will. Let's go to the 4-drop slot, take out Supernatural Rescue. We can take out the Shield Basher, I think. Which one's the Diregraph Scavenger? Okay, that one. So we want to run 17 lands here. I think I'm cool. Let's see. I think I'm good taking out one Blood Fountain. Yeah, let's take out the Desperate Farmer. Maybe just even take out the Gift of Fangs. We really don't care about anything that's 2/2s. I mean, I guess we can lose to Flyers, but I think we're going to be gaining enough life that we can just stabilize. And then, yeah, I'll probably just do 9/8 with 9 Swamps, 8 Plains. Yeah, so I think we got in a good spot early, hedging on kind of a life gain strategy. Like I said, I do like the Gluttonous Guest just in general, as long as you're not aggressive. I think it's going to be an overperforming card. I think a lot of people will write it off because I think it's good in everything besides the aggressive decks. So I think we got really paid off as soon as we saw the Markov Purifier and found our seat. And then even speculating on the Catapult Fodder, we did see it pack 3, and it's an excellent Catapult Fodder deck that absolutely gives us the reach we need to close out these games, especially when we have a couple ways to recur our creatures. I think as long as we do not die, we should win every game. And I think it's pretty difficult for us to die, given how much big butts we have, how much life link we have, how much incidental life gain we have, and our like decent removal suite. So I think we got lucky hedging on an archetype that just was open for our seat.
Nice. Okay, so in this pack, I'm kind of between the Archghoul of Thraben, because that seems super cool if you have like a zombie tribal deck, which it does seem like there's going to be a lot of zombies in this set again. Fierce Retribution seems pretty good too as removal. It's really expensive as cleave though. Yeah, I don't like the cleave costs at all. But it's still good because it's like versatile removal. I like that a lot. So I think I would take the Archghoul and just see where that goes. Yes, I don't really like anything in this pack. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Actually, Repository Scob seems kind of cool. If I am trying to do the zombie synergy stuff, I'm still not like committing to it, but that does seem nice. Yeah, like I said, I'm just not really excited about anything else. So I'm going to take that. Repository Scob. So Winged Portent seems like a fun build around, but I'm not sure. I haven't looked at how many creatures have flying in this set. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's a ton, but if it's like enough to warrant taking that. So I think if I was trying to like really like force the zombie deck, I would take the Skywarp Scob, but I don't want to do that because I don't know where it's going. I'm going to take the Desperate Farmer here, I think. Ugh. I'm looking at Lacerate Flesh. That's such expensive removal. Like, that makes me sad to see that. I think I'm into Wonderlight Spirit. A 2/3 flyer for 3 seems pretty good. I like the Zombie Bear. I think that's kind of cool. It seems a little overcosted, I guess, but the Death Touch is nice. And if I was still trying to like maybe hold on to the zombie theme, it's kind of good. The Lantern Bear, I'm kind of looking at that as well. Maybe even Purifier, because I could still be open to black-white. So yeah, this is hard, actually. I think this is like a turning point in the draft. Okay, maybe I'll take a chance on the Markov Purifier. I love lifelink, so like, yes, if I could make that work, I'd be happy. It's like so much exploit stuff, but I don't know how much stuff there is to kill without like, I haven't seen like a ton of token producers and stuff. So I don't know how good that's gonna be. I think in this pack I might like Valorous Stance. Yeah, because like I like the flexibility of that card a lot. Being able to give something indestructible seems great because so far a lot of the removal seems expensive and clunky. So being able to respond to that with that seems awesome. And there are a lot of creatures with toughness 4 or greater, so I'm kind of into that as removal. Oh, there we go, Doom Dissenter. That's a good thing to exploit. Yeah, I think I like Doom Dissenter. This is a reprint. I've played it a lot before. It seems like a great exploit target, and then it comes back as a 2/2 zombie. That's awesome. So I mean, I wouldn't do this, but I totally want to do this at some point to take all the Vampire's Kisses and see where that goes. Because like, if you get like 4 of them, that's substantial damage. I wouldn't do it though, but I'd be a little bit tempted. I think I would take the Innocent Traveler here. I think I'm sort of into the Rat-Tide Gargantua. That's pretty good stats for 5, but it is kind of expensive. I'm digging the Traveler because like I think it's going to transform pretty soon because I don't think your opponents want to just keep sacking creatures to prevent that from flipping. Okay, so I like Kindly Ancestor here. I love Disturb cards because they're a 2 for 1 immediately. And the life gain goes with the Purifier. Okay, so I'm just going to keep taking away cards. It looks like it's open enough. Fierce Retribution seems fine. I mean, early in a game, like you can use it to destroy an attacker, or late when you have like tons of mana and not much to do, it can kill anything. So I like the flexibility of that card a lot. So Shield Basher seems like it should be pretty good, but honestly, people can just kill that in response to you paying 1 to have Indestructible. So it just seems like a very expensive card with a very tiny butt. So I don't know how into it I am. I think I would take Gluttonous Guest here. And try to do like a blood theme. I don't know if I need to be taking a ton of 2-drops right now. I think a Doom Dissenter, because that's what I want to. I want to make sure I have a lot of 2s, or not a lot, but at least enough, because that is something that will derail a lot of my drafts. It's like, oh, I don't have enough early game. So I like the Ancestor more, and I think that is what I'm going to take here, but that Vampire Slayer would not be terrible, and I do need to work on my curve a little bit. So, I mean, all these cards seem fine as like sideboard cards, I guess. I mean, Adamant Will's an okay trick. I would play that main deck, I guess. Point of Discussion is okay too. Drawing cards is not a bad thing. I mean, I wish it was instant. It kind of is a bummer that it's sorcery. Bummer that Aim for the Head is sorcery too. Yeah, I think I would take Adamant Will, but I'm not sure if I would play it main deck. I mean, Efficient here. Yep. Okay. So at this point, I'm trying to be like some sort of black-white life gain deck, probably with some like vampire themes. I'm not completely married to black yet. So I think Mimic seems really good if you have like amazing creatures. I really don't at this point yet. I love the Brambleworm. It's really expensive, but it's really cool. I'm just trying to stay open a little bit here. So I guess I would speculate on the Mimic here because I'm not sold on my second color. So that card is just really solid. So yeah, at this point, I'm not really sure what my colors are. It felt like white was the most open in the first pack, so I think I'm gonna just keep trucking with white cards, but I do sort of need to pick a lane soon. Rending Flame is quite good, but it did not feel like red was open, so I'm not sure if that's a smart pick here. I'd probably just go with Sigarda's Imprisonment. It's a fine removal spell. It's like Luminous Bonds with extra, so that's okay with me. I mean, I do have a fair amount of life gain. So I think I would take the Restless Bloodseeker and yeah, try to move into black-white for sure, even though I have the Mimic, which is like very strong. Yeah, so I'm into the Innocent Traveler again. It's like kind of expensive, but it will flip soon probably because yeah, your opponent doesn't want to just keep sacking creatures. So I like that, and I'm hoping to wheel the Dawnheart Geist. Yep, Restless Bloodseeker. I mean, I guess Unholy Officiant is a mana sink, but like it's an expensive mana sink, so I'm not super into that. And so if this is a pod draft, I think this is where I'd probably hate draft something because the black and white cards are not great. Maybe Fear of Death? Maybe there's a way that I end up in blue still. Probably not, but maybe. So I'll take that. This looks like an easy Imprisonment. Although, I mean, Heron of Hope would be good for this deck. So I would probably take a little bit of time to think about this. But considering I have like no removal, I think I have to take the Imprisonment. Card looks really cool, but I don't think I'm going to be an Aura deck. So I'm going to go ahead and take Circle of Confinement. Like I'm sort of into Militia Rallier. Fills the curve nicely. Yuck, none of the above. I mean, I guess Trainee is playable. I probably wouldn't play it, but I would take it here just in case I need tos. Wow. I don't think I would ever play that. That has a 113. What do you even do with that? Ugh. I'll take Adamant Will again. Minister's okay, I guess. Probably not. Minister again. Ooh. All right, there's a couple different things I could take here. I like the cavalry. Being able to hop something is really appealing. Gristly Ritual is expensive. Jeez, that's expensive. Oh no, but that might be necessary to have one of those in this deck. I'm kind of into Investigator's Journal. I mean, if you have like a nice go wide deck and you can put a bunch of counters on it and draw a bunch of cards, it seems good. I do love clues. I like mana sinks. I think I'm selling myself on the journal here. Okay, that rare is not for me, so I'm not gonna look at it. I think Nurturing Presence could actually be decent. Because it makes a 1/1 flyer immediately. So I usually don't like enchantments because you're just asking to be 2 for 1. But with that, you get the value immediately. So I don't think it's terrible, but I honestly think I would just take Gristly Ritual. It's so expensive, and I do not like that it's sorcery speed, but I think I would want one of those for the deck. Ooh, I like Gift of Fangs. I really dig that. It's a dead weight that you can also use to like make your creature stronger. That's awesome. So I guess I'm on Blood Crazed Socialite, but I would have to see how much stuff makes blood tokens. I mean, it being able to attack as a 5/5 menace is appealing. But it's a 4-drop, so I don't know if that's going to actually fit into the curve. It looks like it. I only have 2 4-drops at the moment. Yeah, there's just a few things that make blood tokens. But that goes with the Blood Seekers too. Yeah, I would take that. Ooh, I really dig that. Infantry is pretty good. It's a bear and then it comes back as something else. Yeah, that's what I want. So in past sets, I've not liked things like Piercing Light because it's pretty narrow. But in this set, it does seem like there's a lot of things that'll kill. And I'm a little late on removal, so I'll take that. Okay, I don't know how I feel about Arm the Cathars yet, but because it's sorcery speed, you can't just like blow somebody out in combat. I guess it would be ridiculous then. But that seems like a lot of value, and I have some flyers and stuff, so I dig it. Speaking of flyers, the Geist is a little overpriced, but I guess it does have utility later in the game when you can get 2/1s. I have a good bit of enchantments, not like a ton, but the imprisonments are enchantments. Some of the stuff that comes back after, like for Disturb, it would work with that. So yeah, I'm into it, but not like super excited. Well, since I just took something that cares about enchantments, I might take the Nurturing Presence here. I don't think I need another Kindly Ancestor, although no, I need another Kindly Ancestor. I lied. I want some more life gain. Oh, there you go. I'll take this presence. Efficient. I don't like to hate draft, so I would just let somebody have that child and hope they do well with it. I don't believe in hate drafting. Unholy Efficient. Supernatural Rescue. Yeah. Okay, that kind of looks like a deck. But yeah, okay, so I wouldn't play 3 Efficients. I think we can cut those. I don't know what the Minister is. Oh, you know what? I actually think this would go in a life gain deck. I want to see how much life gain stuff we care about. I love the Purifier. Goodness. Oh yeah, and the Bloodseekers care about life gain. Oh my gosh, yes! There's so much synergy here. I love this. Okay. What's the Rallier is a can't attack alone. That can probably come out. Okay. Oh, we're definitely not playing. I'm not. The Archghoul can go because I don't have any zombies anymore. Or I never went to zombies, I guess. The Adamant Wills can come out probably. Supernatural Rescue can come out. Probably don't need Doom Dissenter. What's Gift of Fangs? Oh, right. Okay. And Radiant Grace. The back of it. I probably don't need that, though. That can go. I think the Trainee can come out. I like the Disturb stuff a lot, so I don't want to cut any of that. Journal might be like too slow. I'm like very intrigued by that card, and I love clues. I like the throwback, but I think I might cut that. And like I could sideboard it against decks that are slower, but if I'm playing it against an aggro deck, I don't want it. Well, yeah, no, I don't want it. Yes, Nurturing Presence can come out, but I actually do think that's quite playable because like it's 2 mana, make a flyer, have like upside, but I don't need it. I guess Valorous Stance. It's probably supposed to be a sideboard card. So yeah, I would obviously just bring that in if they had a lot of big stuff. And yeah, I think that looks pretty decent. I like what happened here because there's a lot of like life gain synergy. There's blood token stuff going on. Decent removal. The curve is nice. I like all the life gain so much. Life link is just like hard to keep up with sometimes. So yeah, I think this deck would be okay.
Okay, looking at this pack one, I think that I'm not much into the rare. I think you kind of want to be in the multicolor green space before you're interested in that. Things I like the most here are the two uncommons, the Distracting Gaze and the Arc Ghoul. Also the Disturb Common, the blue one. I think it's pretty premium. I guess the white one, the white Disturb Creature, that's kind of most upside. I think I like white from what I've seen from the spoilers. I'll take it to try. Also, I believe in earlier in the format, you want to take the high gravity cards to test them. So I guess I take the white uncommon, Distracting Gaze. Here, looking at the white cards, not that much good stuff. I think Shield Basher seems fine. The other two white cards are kind of bad. I think I just take the best card in the pack again. That's the Diver's Cab, the blue exploit creature. Not that much. I think the Kindly Ancestor is a pretty premium card, one of the best white commons. I think it goes nicely with both the exploit creature and also the other disturbed creature. I guess I'd take it here. I think the best card, another disturbed creature, I think it's pretty fine. Also very good with exploit because it's cheap, packing for some damage, then you can sack it to something. And also getting advantage of disturbed cards, I think it's pretty good. They kind of make each other better, I guess. So I pick Lantern Bearer. I could see playing one copy of Selhoffen Somber. I'm not much into it. I think Valorous Stance is the best card here. I could see playing Stitch Assistant to me. But I think Valorous Stance is the best thing. It's a removal that doubles up as a trick, so you normally wouldn't want it in a main deck in any format, but I guess it's pretty fine because it doubles as a trick. I think we want some interaction. I think Head on Blessed Blade seems pretty fine, but I'm kind of concerned too with the amount of interaction that I'll end up playing Azorius. I know blue doesn't have much, and also the removal in white seems pretty poor for an aggressive deck, so I guess I will take Chill of the Grave here. Planning to play them as interaction as I otherwise wouldn't have. I think Parish Blaster is kind of weak, but I would take it here as it's the only white card. Kind of send a signal. Okay, another Kind Ancestor. This is PKH, right? I think Kind Ancestor is a pretty premium card. I'm glad that it's here. I'll take another copy. Okay, the Lantern Bearer real. Awesome. I'll just take that. Okay, I think the Estivald is nice. Things good with auras. Let's just take it. I think there were 3 cards, white cards in this pack, and all them will. Feel pretty good about it. Okay, we could take the flyer here. The Skywalk Scab. Not sure even if I play in my main deck, but I guess the best card here. Okay, Okay, another. I think we can use the trick. Adamant wheel. I'm highly efficient. I'll take it, but also planning to move it directly to the sideboard. Run grace. Nice. Is there a look where I can see my curve? Something like that. I think you're kind of low on 2 drop, right? I kind of want to take Storm Chaser Drake here. I think it's awesome in this archetype, but Mirror Hall is a Stone Cold Bomb, I guess. I would just take the rare to play. It seems like an awesome card. I don't think the Drake will, but it would be awesome. Okay. There's an disturbed creature, double strike. I think it's fine. Fills our 2 drop slots. Then later in their games, giving double strike to something. Awesome card, I guess, in late games. I'm not considering much the other cards in my colors here. Maybe I'll take Evolving Wilds, but Gaze is easy beat. Okay. So not sure if Whispering Wizard is that good here. I think we can, even though the backside counts as a non-creature spell for giving the bird, I think I want the Diver's Cap more because of the interaction purposes. The exploit creature, since we won't have actual removal. Binding that is 3 mana, alright. Not sure if I want a Downheart Gaze. It seems kind of fine since I already play a lot of enchantments, but I don't have that much life gain payoffs. I think the Minister synergizes well with what we're doing, but I kind of expect it to will after seeing all the white cards reading pack 1. I guess I'll take the Binding Dice here to have another more disturbed. Repository cabinet, it's a consideration too. Here, I guess I'll take the Minister. It seems fine with our flying creatures, evasive creatures. Playing this on turn 1. Here, I guess you can use another Shield Basher. Not that interested in counter spells in this deck. Whoa, what's that mean? Here, I'm not that sure. I think I'll take the Binding Gaze here to get even more disturbed. I don't think the life game stuff interests me. I think that passive feeling is kind of awful. I'll take just another Binding Geist to have more interaction. I think it's kind of bad. I think it in a set with exploit. I don't have any interest in Sigarda's Imprisonment. I'd rather have like the in this deck kind of the tap things, the bounce, than a pacifism. I think Candle Trap was kind of marginal because you could pay 4 to exile the creature permanents. Now I think you have to pay 8, so it's really expensive, and just locking it up with a pacifist doesn't interest me that much. Instead of exploit. Just take the gaze. Circle of no, awesome. I just look at Circle, but there's a Bryan Comber in the pack. Seems like the signpost, so I'd gladly take it. Here I guess I'll take the Cruel Weakness. Just more evasive creature that can generate a kind of card advantage if we survey all disturbed creatures. Here take the I'm not sure if Wonderlight Spirit is even that good. I guess I'm already kind of stacked on trees, I guess. I have more trees than 2, so I guess I'll take the trainee. Just for curvaus. I guess the second copy of Adamant Wheel is fine. Here I'll take Minister. I think it does more for me than Gaze. If I had some payoff from life gain payoffs, I guess I'd consider Gaze, but as it is, I think Minister pumping my flying creatures would be more effective. Okay, another trainee, but not that much interest. No, Cruel Weakness, nice. I guess I'll take the Ancestor. I kind of want as many of those as I can get. I'll just take it. Okay. Not much here. Oh, there's Fleeting Spirits. The Fleet Spirit, though, doesn't work well with Auras, right? Because we have to exile it. Nah. I think Nurturing Presence might be better. The Aura, it's kind of 2 mana, 1/1 flying that pumps something every turn. I think it might be better here. Since we kind of have some 1-drops. Okay. Here, I guess I'd take Gatelight Snare. I think it's going to use some counters in the sideboard against a bomb-heavy deck. Or deck that we might want to counter something. I'm not sure if it's a main deckable card, but fine the side. Here's the same. I'm not interested in anything else other than the Snare. I don't think any of those other options are particularly playable. Another Bryan Comber is awesome. Do I have infantry? Don't have any infantry right now, right? I guess we could take the Drogskol infantry here and try to wield the Bryan Comber. Since we got the first one kind of around pack 7, I guess. Here, just take another infantry. I think like kind of Ancestor, I want as many of those as I can get. It's like the premium white common. Oh, another Bryan Comber, awesome. I think Armed Counters is a consideration too, but I don't know. Here, the arms I kind of want to see in action. I don't know. I think I just take the Bryan Comber. Move on. Okay, another infantry, awesome. Here I just take another presence. I think it's better than Trainee. Trainee seems like a kind of green-white card. I'll take the Retrieval, not sure if I play it, but go. I think it's playable. Here's where the Bryan Comber should wheel, right? So it didn't. I guess I'll just take the 1-drop, not playing any. The 1-dropper, the Ambush. Okay, another 1-drop. For Natural Rescue, I'm not that much into. Another Show of the Grave is nice. I might play it. I have very few zombies though, right? I guess just the 5-mana exploits. Then I guess I'll play, in addition to that, both Jiver's Cab, the 5-mana, Blue Thing with exploits. I think I would play both Two of the Grave, Veveil Stance, both Adamant Will, I guess. I kind of want more 2-drops. Too many 3s. I'm not sure if she'll have only 2. Those Trainee doesn't seem so getting bumped, I guess. I have a lot of ones. I think I'm putting 1 Minister. Traveling Minister. Oh no, I don't. I didn't notice. Put one Traveling Minister. Also, I could guess you take out the chills since it's not that much into zombies. Take out both Show of the Grave. Put in a Cruel Witness. And 1 Nurturing Presence, I guess. Round out. I guess I really kind of like this with 9 planes, 8 island. I think blue-white and blue-black, to me, look the most powerful archetypes in starting. Kind of like Midnight again. But I think those two look the most powerful on the card advantage, right? Those disturb stuff, you're always drawing more things, and blue-black, I guess, have something with exploit, because all the exploit cards looks very good to me. And then you combine the fodder with the exploit, and I guess blue-white kind of does the same. You'll just never run out of things to do. Because you have all those auras. And I think blue-white is playing kind of aggressive tempo, and you have flyers, and then you have lifelink on flyers, and the flying auras to jump up your stuff. Like, Deck looks very good, very proactive.
I'm usually a big fan of Lay of the Land type cards when they have some kind of upside. That's not an upside though that I'm like sure, Lay of the Land, having access to a tutor, just a straight tutor, is cool. But I would never, ever, ever, ever put a straight tutor in my deck. Nor, unless I'm like a 5-color pile, would I put 1 mana to put for a basic land, and they're like a little too far out of the way. I'd like if the cleave was the same color as the casting cost for dig up. I'd like the card a lot more because I'd feel like I'd be able to always utilize both sides. But since I can't, I'm like not interested in that rare at all. So Distracting Geist is cool. We've seen cards like this, and they're usually commons, and they're always like top commons, right? So I think Territorial Hammerskull is one that I remember pretty fondly from Ixalan being what I'll say is the second best white common, because the best white common was the 2-mana 2/2 lifelink bear, but people will fight me on that. Although maybe now they won't. Maybe now finally that 2/2 lifelink bear has been the best common so many times that people will like finally go back and realize. But so that's definitely a front runner. Usually that kind of card like is a must kill threat, and the fact that you have to like kind of kill it twice is pretty. What does this Arc Ghoul do? I mean, that's fine on that body, but it's I don't know. It's hard to know how much zombies are really going to matter. I'm gonna guess that blue black has a good chunk of them, but I think I'd be on Geist over that. Wash Away is a constructed plant. I mean, I guess if you're in the mood for a cancel, you can play it. And I don't think I see any of the top commons here. I will say Lantern Bearer is a card that I'm like super into, but it's not a card that I want to like take here. Mulch is a card that I also tend to enjoy. And I'm sure Fierce Retribution is fine, but it's going to be one of the most overrated commons. Generally, white's aggressive, which means destroy target attacking creature is not something that white really cares so much about, and 6 mana is too much for a removal spell. So you'll still play this in all your non-aggressive white decks, but I just don't know how many of the white decks won't be aggressive. So I'll take the Geist. All right. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, deal damage to each opponent. So 4 mana Thermo Alchemist. Is there a way for me to see the backside of flip cards? Okay, cool. 2 damage. Okay, so the flip side just kills the opponent. That's pretty cool. They just die. Diver Scab, when it exploits a creature, target creature puts, they get to choose top or bottom. I mean, that card's good. It's quite good, actually. And it's probably like really good in like a blue-white deck, because you can actually exploit these disturb cards, and there's 2 Lantern Bearers that might wheel. 5 mana. This is the first time we've seen like this tap effect's usually, the Nebelgas Beguiler is usually like a cheap card. I'm not interested in putting that card in my deck. Okay. I dig Blood Tokens. I think they're cool. So Gluttonous Geist is nice, but not a card I want to take this early. Entombers probably pretty good in disturb decks. But overall, this pack is pretty medium. So it's between Diver Scab and Lambholt. I'm going to take the Scab. I think it pairs better as top end with what I've started with, and there's blue cards I'm excited to wield to go alongside it. Oh. Draw a card for each creature with flying you control. So it's not a good rare. Okay. This card might have been better in the disturb. Like if blue-white, if the disturb made flyers, right? Then maybe you'd be interested in talking about it. But I'm not going to take that rare. Usually I like to mess around with rares in the beginning of a format. I think it's actually pretty important to do so. But that's not one that I'm going to. So at this point, I don't really think there's anything in this pack that is like off my first 2 colors that's like better than the cards that I have, right? The like like basically the non-blue and white cards here are fine. So I'm probably going to start solidifying into 1 color. I already have a 5-drop, which makes me not as interested in the Scab, even though like it can be pretty cool. I mean, a 2/5 flyer ETB draw card is actually really, really good. But I already have a 5-drop that I think is better anyways. And I'm a huge fan of Kindly Ancestor. So I'm just going to take Kindly Ancestor. I think Lifelink, I'm one of the few that thinks Lifelink is better than flying as a limited keyword. Okay, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets +2/+2, and it has haste. I mean, cool. Ooh, okay, so now we have another Lantern Bearer. I already have a Lifelink card. I mean, it's a little awkward to take this gold card, and the fact that I have like a bunch of 3s. But I mean, as I said, I think Lifelink's pretty busted. I already have a Lifelinker. This thing cares about life gain. I mean, I could take Syncopate. I think Syncopate's a pretty good limited card. It's nice to see that when it common. The exile clause is also pretty relevant. But the thing is that like this blue-white deck that like has all this disturb is like not going to be great at holding up mana, right? Because you're always going to have like, mana to do with things. So, I mean, I could take the Lantern Bearer here and like try and like lean into blue-white. But there's 2 other Lantern Bearers, and both of those Lantern Bearers are with other blue cards, which makes me feel like I can wield them. And I don't think they're like premium cards. So I think it's important to like speculate here on the Purifier. Because it basically, if I pass it, I'm reducing the probability I can be black-white. Valorous Stance is a dope card. That card's so good. But before, I'm not necessarily taking, because Stitched Assistant is also really great. I think at this point I'm committing myself to white though, and then I'll see if I'm going to be either blue or black and be very happy to take Valor Stance. So we have, when it dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. We've seen Doom Dissenter many times. It's never been great. The best card in this pack, exile it from your graveyard, create 2/1/1 fly. Ooh. Only if you control an enchantment and only as a sorcery. Okay, so like without the only if you control as an enchantment, that card is good. That card's really good. I guess I already have 2 ways to make enchantments. The thing is, if you don't have like a lot of ways to make enchantments, like that card's bad. So what's more important to me? The ability to have Heron Blessed Geist as my top end, or like making sure that like, let's say I end up black-white, that I have a 2-drop. There's also Massive Might, which is a card I like a lot potentially in green-white, and so could Bramble Armor. This is a hard pick. But it's funny. It's a hard pick, but it's also one that is like not likely to matter all that much. I'll take the Geist. Okay, so now blue is fully dry. We have a 2-drop. When it dies, put its counters on target creature you control. That's interesting. So it's a 4-mana 1/3. So I don't care. I think. I'm pretty sure 4-mana 1/3 means meh. Whenever another gets +1, so that's like a reasonable bear. Rural Recruit is pretty good, right? Like it can get bigger, but it comes with like this token, which is nice. I just don't know how good this Perish Blade trainee is going to be, Like basically, if you can put a single counter on that card, it's so good, right? It's a 2-mana 2/3 that dies and puts a counter on something, potentially more than that. And I know I'm white and I don't know I'm the other colors, even though green and black look like they're more open. And I think in green-white, I'd probably rather have the Recruit. I also don't have any 2-drops, right? I'll take the trainee. Another trainee. There's another Kindly Ancestor. I'm just going to take another Kindly Ancestor. I just think that card's insane. Okay, so now in terms of what's wheeling, right? The Lantern Bearers are wheeling. Fierce Retribution is not a card I care about. I really don't. Blue, I mean, both be either black or I could be white. If I'm black-white, am I going to actually miss this? Basically, if I'm blue-white, I think I'd rather have I guess I don't really have much interaction yet. If I'm blue-white, and I know I'm getting other Lantern Bearers that are going to wheel here, which this pack suggests I might, then I'd rather have the Fierce Retribution. If I know that they're not wheeling, I would rather have the Lantern Bearer. And I don't actually know if I'm blue-white or black-white, so I'll just take the Fierce Retribution, I think. I'll just take a white 2-drop, make sure I have it. I mean, I guess basically, I think that the blue-white deck is not going to want to use Scab because the things in the graveyard it cares about, so I think I should just take another white, too. I'm just going to keep pushing off my second color. I have no clue what it's going to be. I'll just take the Adamant Will. So I think Unholy Efficient is probably never making my deck, so I'm just going to take the Villager. It's interesting, so I'm fully okay. Enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature. What's the backside of that Disturb thing? The beginning of your upkeep, create a token as a copy of an enchanted creature, except it's wait, what? So it's a clone that comes back as a card that says if you don't have a removal spell, I win. All right, that's that. Am I reading that correctly? Is there limits on what I can enchant with this? Can I enchant my opponent's creature? I can enchant my opponent's creature, right? So they have to cast a removal spell on their own creature or they lose? I'm going to look. What's that blue card that you're hiding? Whenever it becomes the target. Yeah, I'll take the rare. So basically, this pick is between the Twin Blade Geist, which I think is going to be really good in blue-white. But also, right now, am a little shy on removal. Oh no, I took the destroy target attacking creature, right? And the thing is, what I'm shy on is good 2s. And being able to give a flyer double strike is like actually busted. Wow, I know most people would take this Sigarda's Imprisonment because it's a removal spell. I'm going to take the Geist. Removal doesn't matter if they're dead. I mean, so that's a really strong block too, but basically with the blue rare and the fact that I didn't take there were black cards that create blood tokens that I could have taken at the end of the pack. If I had taken those, then I would definitely be into this card because I think it's super powerful. Whenever you gain life, create a blood token is also really good. Is the backside of Mimic splashable? No. When you create a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 token. It's like I understand what the wizard's trying to do, but 4 mana 3/2 is just a little bit too below rate for my taste. Diver Scab again is a card I like quite a bit, especially with all of the aura stuff. But I don't know if I want 2 copies. Wretched Thong. When it dies, you may search your card library for another card named Wretched Thong. That's cool. It's definitely a better 2 than what I have. I mean, maybe I am supposed to take this Bloodseeker. The thing is, this rare is so okay. No. I have a broken rare. What am I talking about? The broken rare and it's not like blue or black feels more open. But none of these blue cards are that exciting to me. Although Alchemist Retrieval, return target non-land permanent, you can. Oh, that's actually kind of dope on Aura. I'm taking Alchemist Retrieval. I think having 1 copy of that card is so important in blue-white. Being able to return my aura to my hand, my opponent trades with the creature with the aura on it, right? And then I return the aura to my hand, but the aura is a creature. That's dope. I'll take the retrieval. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 2 life. Ooh. Exploit, don't care. It's another 3-drop. That 3-drop's a good card, but is there a way for me to see my curve at all? I have a lot of 3s, right? How many? I have Kindly Ancestor. Oh, I only have 3 3s. And I really only have 1 2-mana creature though that I'm down to play, and my deck is not going to be inherently aggressive, right? Which makes the Geist interesting. And I have 1. I'm playing 5 auras effectively already. I guess the question is, would I put a Ration Cleric in my deck, right? Because let's say this is on average going to gain 2 to 4 life, right? So would I be happy about a Ration Cleric? And I think the answer is actually no. So I have 1 4-drop. This 4-drop's pretty good. It's just a flyer. But I actually think it's better for me to take this Binding Geist. Wow, another Bloodseeker. Damn. Honestly, though, these trainees might actually be really good. Oh, wait, what's this thing? Creatures attacking, you get -1. That's a really annoying card. Beginning of each end step, if you had dealt more than 4 damage, exile it. Less good. So black is definitely more open than blue from this direction. It probably was that way from the other direction too, but the thing is my rare is just too good. I've committed here. I think if I had taken maybe some of those black cards into a Restless Bloodseeker into this Bleed Dry, I'd be slightly more happy. But as is, I think I'm going to draft a aggressively leaning blue-white deck, and I'll take this trainee. Auras can do things. The thing is I don't have any self-mill, so it's 2 mana. That card doesn't have... Oh, it mills 2. Mills 2, which is pretty dope. So it's at least... Okay, all right, that card's much better than I thought. I was at least give it flash, at least do something. But its floor is -2, -0, and it can draw me cards. So I'll take the Fear of Death. I'm happy to take the Sigarda's Improvement, I think, unless that, when you cast a spell, tap up to 2 target creatures you don't control, +1/+2, it has splash, or something. No, yeah, we'll take the Sigarda's Imprisonment. Be pretty happy with it. So, Circle of Confinement is really good, but am I supposed to pass this Brine Comber? When it enters the battlefield, it becomes the target of an aura spell, make a 1/1 flying. Yeah, I'm definitely just going to take the gold card to play with it. I understand that Circle of Confinement might actually be the better pick, but at this stage in the format, I think it's so important to play with the quote-unquote, what is this deck supposed to look like? And I think it's worth more to do that than it is to take a potentially slightly better card. Scattered Thoughts is really good card advantage, and I don't really think 4 mana 3/3 flyer with some slight upside is that great. So I think I'm just going to take the Scattered Thoughts to have some like really strong card advantage. I guess I'll take another Trainee. Do I want to will I ever play a second Adamant Will? Probably not. I'll just take the Spirit. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 2 life. Sounds good to me. I guess I'll take the 1-drop. Cool. All right. So that rare is like some good card advantage, but only if you play it like later. It probably would be better if Disturb worked like it was making creatures, but it's not making creatures. So like I already have a card advantage spell that I think is better. So I have this Cavalry, which was my preview card, which makes me want to take it. So Geistlight Snare is interesting, right? Because like I have a ton of spirits and enchantments, and Mana Leak is really, really strong. So what 2-drops am I happy about? Like honestly, I'm not happy with many 2-drops that I have at all. In fact, probably just the Double Striker. And I only have 1 4-drop creature, which makes me want to take the Cavalry. It's just awkward because I don't actually have that many things that have free power, right? Which makes the Cavalry pretty awkward because basically that card, if it doesn't get a counter on it, is bad. I think I'm just supposed to make my opponent's life. I've made some mistakes this draft. Wait, did I? Oh, I did get the 4-mana 3/3 flyer. Good, because I'm gonna want it now. Now that I'm gonna pick up my 3rd copy of Kindly Ancestor and never ever ever lose to any aggressive deck. Exile. It's a 3/1. Exile 3 cards from your graveyard against first strike. Discard a card. It return. Oh, now that's a 2-drop. I'm happy to take. Slamming that one. So like I understand Geistlight Snare is like supposed to be good in the decks that I have here, right? Like that's where it's supposed to be, but I honestly just think I don't care. I'm going to take the Entomber. I think having 1 copy of that card is so good because like discarding my auras and drawing cards, I mean, that sounds fantastic. I'll take an Entomber. Oh, another Fear of Death, huh? And that's an aura. Flyers are going to be more important than I gave credit with all of these Fear of Deaths and stuff. Which is really unfortunate because I don't have one of the 1-mana 1/1 flyers that gives me a flying aura, and I have actually a pretty low number of flying creatures. I guess I can play the Herongeist though. Yeah, I'll just take another Fear of Death. So like a second Bryan Comer is awesome, but I'm actually curious if I'm supposed to take the Drog Skull Infantry. So I have a lot of 3-drops, right? This would be, in terms of 3-drops I'm playing, 1, 2, 3. I have 6 3-drops I'm playing because I'm not. 7. 7. So this would be the 8th. While it's a more powerful card than this infantry, it might be correct to take the infantry over the Comer. Really might be. Because like the Comer doesn't seem broken to me, right? It just seems fine. Like as I said, right, the Comer was like, I think like now obviously I wish I had taken the aura. I mean the enchantment removal spell over the Comer, right? Because then I'd take this Comer here. I think I'm supposed to take the infantry. I'm going to take the infantry here. Piercing Light. No, don't care. It's another 3-drop. What does this 2-drop do? Look at the top 2 cards. Oh, from anywhere? What is the backside of that flip card? 3/2. Whoa. I mean, it's slow, but it flips into a real card. I don't think I'm going to have room for it. So I really like Stitched Assistant, but as I've said, I have a lot of 3s. I don't have a lot of 2s, so I'm just going to take the infantry. Wow. I am in the right seat, let me tell you. I guess I'll take the Comer. Counter a creature or planeswalker. Another I'll just take another infantry. Now we're talking. This is a deck. Holy crap. I wish I had Yorion. I guess the correct thing to do here is hate something, but none of these cards seem good. I guess I'll take the Nurturing Presence. I will hurt one of the bots to the left and take the Weaver of Blossoms. I guess maybe a Serpentine Ambush out of the sideboard will actually do something. I don't know, take whatever card, doesn't matter. And I guess the Flash Aura, and chill. Cool. I mean, this deck's great. Holy crap. Yeah. So, I mean, there's exactly 1 pick that was, like, objectively incorrect, right? And I mean, I said it was incorrect when I did it. The 2-mana removal spell. Nice. Nice curve. Okay. Great. All of the like mediocre 2s can get out of here, right? So like Serpentine Ambush can go, the Presence can go, Adamant Will can go, the Vampire Slayers can go, all the Trainees can go. Vampire Slayer still can get cut. And I think, so Dawnheart Geist is the 1/3 that gains life whenever I cast an enchantment. I think it's not going to make the main, but it's going to be a bomb sideboard card. Like, the thing is that gains a bunch of life, but like, I already have 3 Kindly Ancestors. I just don't need it. So you can cut the Dawnheart Geist. Cut all of the ones, I think, except for the Retrieval. Okay, we can cut Supernatural Rescue for sure. Chill the Grave is a 3, and Wanderlight Spirit can go. And that's the deck. This deck is nuts. Yeah, good luck to my opponents. Wait. There's a 2-drop. There's a blue 2-drop that's missing. Entomber. Yeah, can you put that back in? Now I need one more cut. It might end up being the cut, but like, it's basically tap, draw a card in this deck, right? Like, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Even the Geist, the Geist is really good. Wow. I mean, one of the things that looking at this deck makes me realize is having access to the 1/1 flyer is really important. You know, so Scattered Thoughts is super powerful in this deck because it's like going to be drawing 3 to 4 cards. So I should just keep it. But it's interesting because like the auras, they're not like full cards. And I have so much card advantage effectively from the auras that maybe I could argue for cutting it. But I think I'm going to keep it for now. I think I need to keep it. It's awkward. Basically, Cruel Witness and Harem Blessed Geist I wouldn't like so much if I had some of the 1/1 flyers. Right? But I think because I have these lifelink and these +2/+2 and this double strike, that like all of these things, they really want to have access to a flyer, right? So what is the cut? I mean, maybe my deck is more aggressive than I'm giving it credit, and I don't have time for this Entomber. You know, like when I originally looked at the Entomber, I was like, you know what's really nice about this Entomber? Well, right now, I only have 5 2s. That's actually slightly low. I actually don't think I can cut it. I think I want to keep myself at 6 2s, probably. What the hell am I supposed to cut? Am I supposed to play 16 lands? It feels wrong, given how much I can do. Probably supposed to cut a creature. The worst creature is either the Cruel Witness or the Harem Blessed Geist for sure. I just don't think I can cut flyers. So basically, Binding Geist and Distracting Geist, like, they do similar things. One has a better body and a better rate of return, but one has a more powerful ability, right? So I think what I'm going to do, and it's probably a mistake because it's so cheap to bring back. Maybe I won't do that. I need to make a decision. I'm going to cut Binding Geist. It's probably a mistake, but I need to cut a 3, and I think Lifelink is too good. So I'll cut Binding Geist, and then we're going to go 9-8 favoring white. Even though I have 2 double blues, I just have too many other white cards. And then we're done. I'll say, you know, I like my deck a lot. I think it's very good. I think this particular seat was interesting in the sense that, like, basically the card that I opened, pack 2, pick 1, doesn't really matter exactly what it is, right? Mirror Hall Mimic was busted, but like any busted non-white card would have dictated my draft. I think one of these Bryan Combers should have been a better removal spell than maybe I could have cut like the Fierce Retribution, if that makes sense. And kept the Geist if I had that other removal spell. No, I think the draft went well. I think there were a few sort of ways to take the seat. It'll be interesting to see what people do if they don't pack 1, pick 1, the Distracting Geist. I mean, I'm looking at my deck and I'm like less excited about the Distracting Geist than I was when I pack 1, pick 1 did. If that makes sense. I think the 2/1 body is a little bit worse than I was like imagining in my brain. Yeah, that's all I got to say, I guess.
This pack is not blowing my mind. I got to remember what this Arch School of Thraben does. When another zombie you control dies, look at the top card. If it's a zombie, reveal it and put it in your hand. If you don't, so it's surveil or draw a zombie. I don't know. I feel like I tend to hone in on the uncommons pretty early, especially new in a set. And lately I've been just doing that all over in Midnight Hunt. So I think I'm between Distracting Geist and Arch School of Thraben. I have no idea which one to pick. I'm going to flip a coin and say Archghoul of Thraben. That seems like it'll be fine in any black deck. It'll be nice if I get some zombie stuff going on, and if I don't, I certainly don't mind abandoning it. All right, and now we're here with, do you want to get all in on some zombie shenanigans and take you a Diver Scab? Would you like to hedge with some red cards in the Raconteur? Do you want a Honeymoon Hearse? There's a Suppository Scab down there. I think I like the Diver Scab. Let's again try to build around something, and if I have to get off of it, I'll get off of it. But yeah, I'm on the Diver Scab here. That's pretty dang good. All right, Winged Portent I don't like. I remember looking at that one in the set review. Into the Night I did not like. So this is just commons. What common do I want? None of these are particularly blowing my mind. I don't feel like I need to force blue because I got a Diver Scab. This is a tough pick, man. I think with time running out, I'd click on the Kindly Ancestor, as it looks like at least a decent common. And if I have to shift into blue-white, I can do that. But like I'm not in love with any of these. Well, now that we're here, let me make sure. Because I remember liking some of these. I thought Frenzied Devil was all right. I thought Stinkapate is always fine for curve filling. But we just got a gray lifelinker. We've got a playable black card, and here's the Markov Purifier being like, dude, you want to gain some life? Yeah, let's party, man. I'm going to take the Purifier. I'm not used to getting to see foils either. That's kind of nice. All right, so we're looking at basically our off-ramp into blue cards if we want them, but I don't see why you wouldn't just take the Valorous stance here and be like, yeah, we're probably doing this. So yeah, put me down for Valorous stance. So Doom Dissenter would be nice if we were in the exploit deck, which we're not going to be. Radiant Grace is the one that like makes their crap come into play tapped on the other side, right? Yeah, okay. And then that artifact is like a Manolith that can eat graveyards. I guess I'll take an Heirloom and see if I want to splash something or change directions. Yeah, let's take an Heirloom. I don't really like any of this. Freshblade Trainee, Vampire's Kiss, suddenly green cards. I mostly evaluated the Innocent Traveler as a 4-mana 3/3 flyer that's sometimes a 5/3 flyer, and that seems fine. I'm also looking at the Rot Tide, thinking it'd be nice to have some exploit in here, but I'm again going to default to the uncommon here and take the Innocent Traveler. I think I could still hedge my way back into blue-black if I need to, but I'm feeling pretty committed to black-white right now. Got a Trainee. Ooh, the Traveling Minister is interesting. I had speculated that was going to be another black-white gold card, but there's another Kindly Ancestor here. I just want that. Like, let's get these lifelinkers and see if we can get it with the Purifier, maybe find another payoff. Yeah, let's go. Retribution came back. That's nice. The Lantern Bearer seems late, but I may be overvaluing that, which is unusual. I usually hate 1-mana creatures, but I really like Lantern Bearer. And it feels like Alchemist Retrieval and the Lantern Bearer were like solid ones, but I think we're here. Let's take the Retribution. Ooh, Shield Bearer or Shield Basher came back. I like that dude too. That thing's just great. Yeah, sign me up. Let's take that. Man. I mean, at this point, I probably think I need a 2-drop or 2, so let's take a Vampire Slayer. It's not really the one I want, but sure. I think I'm more likely to want Pointed Discussion than these other two, but it makes me feel good that there's 3 playable cards in the color pair I'm sort of hugging now. That makes me feel like I've picked it correctly. But yeah, let's get Pointed. And sure, I'll take the Officiant. And Grace. Neat. Nice Asfan, Watsy, you bastards. I could splash that Mimic. I've got the Manolith. And we have some compulsion to get into blue. Like, it's not like my black is that deep. It's mostly the Purifier, and I could splash that too. So yeah, I'm on the clone. The Mirror Hall Mimic here. All right. I liked Twinblade Geist a good bit. I also remember liking Headless Rider, but that's not really going to... No, it's still going to be a 3/1 that dies into a 2/2. You know what? I think I'm going to take the Evolving Wilds. This is a bit of a hedge for me, but I've got 2 cards that I'm interested in splashing and a Manolith, and I can just cheese this one more round and then decide where we're going. Nah. Yeah, let's do Twin Blade Geist. I can find another Evolving Wilds. That's a really difficult one for me. Okay, so I got the Bloodseeker. Man, they're just not making this easy. Because it's some really good blue. I wonder if I hedged the wrong way and I should have just been blue-black. Because I like that Bloodseeker. I think that's giving me 2 reasons to want to be doing life gain shenanigans. I'm just concerned that I haven't seen a lot of removal for black because it's kind of stuffed with it. But I think I'm ready to make the decision and take the Bloodseeker, planning on splashing the clone. More kind of bluish stuff. Not particularly excited about any of these, but I have a couple reasons to be gaining life. I still feel like it's a little early for the Minister. Do I have any enchantments? I don't really. I should. I should be getting Sigarda's Pacifism or whatever. Got like 1 Disturbed dude. A couple Disturbed dudes. Probably just use the early game anyway. And there's enough. Yeah, let's get the Dawnheart Geist. Ooh, there's another Bloodseeker? And a Bleed Dry. Damn it, I want both, but I got to take the Bleed Dry. I don't have enough interaction. All right, my 2-drop count is at 1, 2, 3 currently. Dawnheart, Twin Blade. I've got the Twin Blade too. Okay, so I don't have to go nuts over the Mind Leech. Let's get a Blood Fountain. I don't have that effect yet, and I like this card. Heron of Hope. Oh, damn it, there's a Sigarda's Imprisonment. Why do I got to do it like this? I want both of these, but yeah, I don't have enough interaction yet, so Sigarda's Imprisonment it is. Happy to see the Heron still here. I think I'm probably splitting it, and yeah, here's the icing on the cake. This side was supposed to be blue-white. We figured it out, but it's a bit too late for me to get out, I think. And I should still get good black the other way. So I think we grab the Circle of Confinement here and move along. Rallier's fine. I'll play that. And I really don't like that trainee. I guess we'll take the Groom's Finery here because oddly enough, I am in white. So if I saw the wedding gown, maybe we could talk about it. I don't think I'm going to play it though. Adam at Will looks aight. Minister I like. I'm going to play it too. Maybe not too, but sure. All right, so our opportunity to have 2 pair of Groom's Finery. Does that mean we can have a gay wedding? I mean, I'm down for it, dude. I kind of feel like I'm really unexcited about this, but I think I might want this Griffwing Cavalry. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to fit in with my curve. Because this pack is kind of weak, and I feel like I should have gotten into blue-white, and I didn't, and now I'm having some regrets. But like, I can live with it, and it's kind of too late to change. I think actually I need the other Kindly Ancestor. It kind of sucks to be picking a common out of this pack, but there's not really anything here for me. And yeah, this is giving me the lifelink I need for my payoffs and the enchantment I need for the other payoff. So let's take the Kindly Ancestor and move along. We could certainly play the Spirit. I think I could get behind that. Let me make sure there's nothing I'm missing here, because I could potentially splash a flame. I feel like my removal looks okay now. I don't have enough blood tokens to be dying to serve. I'm not going nuts over Innocent Traveler yet. So yeah, let's get a Fleeting Spirit. I guess Gift of Fangs might get played. Don't think I could flip a Catapult Fodder and do much with it. Yeah. I guess we still take it. Like, I'll look and see if I end up having enough things to play it. I kind of don't think I do, though. The Kindly Ancestors have bigger butts, so maybe we can have a minor butt stuff theme. So yeah, I'll take the Catapult Fodder. Kind of thinking about whether I want to splash the Brine Comber or just take the Drog Skull Infantry and play it. I think I'll just take the Drog Skull Infantry. But I really do think I should have been blue-white, but I didn't catch it fast enough. Light can't be good. I'll just take another Drog Skull Infantry. Those guys seem great to me. And we do have some enchantment stuff going on now, so I like that. But I think I'm just going black-white, splash the clone currently. Good grief. They're like, it wasn't too late, Travis. I guess I'll take the Brine Comber now and look at my mana. Or Drog Skull? That's weird. So Heron Blessed Geast, huh? I might be able to pull that off. Let's take it and I'll see if I have room for it. And we're just getting wheels now, and I don't think there's anything I'm actually going to wheel that I'm happy about, but sure, we can take the Nurturing Presence, I guess. I don't think I'm playing any of this. Sure, let's do another one. And Efficient, I guess. Yeah, I should have been blue-white. Yeah, more Efficients. Supernatural Rescue, there you go. Okay. I'm not unhappy with this. It would have been better if I'd noticed the blue sooner, but yeah. I don't want 2 ministers if I even want one. I probably don't need the Vampire Slayer. Probably don't need the Arch Ghoul. I don't need the Militia Rallier. I don't need the Catapult Fodder. That's not going to work either. Let's see what else we can trim here, because I got a couple more to go. Radiant Grace, I don't remember digging all that much. That was a tap enchantment, so we can just peel that. I don't think I want Groom's Finery. Oh yeah, Nurturing Presence can go. And Groom's Finery can go. I shouldn't need Gift of Fangs either. We can peel that. I don't even have any vampires to mess with it. And then what was Supernatural Rescue? Yeah, Yeah, let's just ditch that. I don't know what the last cut is here. Let's kill the Minister. I'm not dying for that. This looks all right to me. I do wish I had that Evolving Wilds, but I was a coward. So I probably have to go like 9-2, and then the rest swamps. So like 9 plains. Yeah, that. Which is kind of indicating that black was not open here, but meh. I think looking back, like I mentioned this like 5 or 6 times, but there was a point where I should have noticed that blue-white was a little more open to me, and I didn't. I think I might have gotten a little nervous about exploit synergies with blue-white, but I'm recognizing now that we've gone through the draft, exploiting my disturbed creatures for my blue cards would have been just fine. So I think if anybody figured that out on this and got that deck, they probably have a better one than I do. But I also think I've got something here I can win with. So I'm not unhappy about it. And I'm excited to get a lot more reps in with this format.
All right, everybody, that is our very first Crimson Vow draft. It's in the books. I want to wish you luck on all of your drafts. You're going to be doing it. I'm also going to be in Vegas, so I'm not going to be drafting as much. But if you are in Vegas, come up, say hi. Let's do an Ussie, which is a thing I learned from Ted Lasso. But otherwise, I'm going to be doing a ton of streaming this week, just a bunch of sealed prep. So if you want to come and watch me 5-0 some sealeds, don't. If you want to come and see me learn a ton about sealed, though, it's twitch.tv/UncleCardboard. Until the next open draft project, I'll see you later. I'm your favorite uncle. Hey everybody, it's your favorite uncle, reminding you to check out the Open Draft Project, where I sit down with your favorite pros, streamers, and limited grinders. They do the exact same draft seat, and then we see what's going on in their heads. If you are brand new to draft, or you're like me and draft way too much, there's always something that you can take away from this series where we talk to some of the greatest draft minds in the world. Check it out.